Hey, it's Matt and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to have you. We have some work to do today. My last video, we went through and we cleaned out my closet and I got rid of about 30% of my clothes, which I was prepared to do. But what I wasn't prepared for was the amount of clothes that needed mending. I have a couple of cats that we adopted that have something called pica, and which means that they eat things that they're not supposed to eat. And in that, one of their favorite things to eat that they're not supposed to eat is clothes. I call them moths. If there is any piece of clothing anywhere in this house that they can get their little hands on, they will chew. And with that comes a lot of holes in clothes, especially clothes that you don't want holes in. And I also have a bunch of clothes that just need like little touch-ups and like little like amendments. Okay, hello, Madison for president. I live in Canada, running for president. They just need a little zhuzhing, or a little hem needs to be brought up, or just like a little issue needs to be solved. So I figured this week we could sit down and we could do that together. Does that sound fun? That sounds fun to me. And I could show you more of my clothes because I feel like you guys liked that. Before we can begin fixing, oh yeah, this is my 4th cup of tea. That's how you know I mean business. Hold on. How's the new mic sound, by the way? I've got a new mic. How's it? How is it? Can you tell me? Comment down below how this new mic is. Anywho, before we get into the fun part where we actually get to like fix things, I think we need to sort, I'm so easily distracted today. We need to just like sort things into piles of different types of repair so I can kind of do them all the same stuff at the same time, and also like assess what is repairable and what isn't and how we're going to do those repairs. This first one that I know where the hole is. It is actually not a chew hole. It's a little claw hole. Someone was climbing up on me and it is just like a little pinprick hole in the knit. So this is a hand stitch situation. So I'm gonna put this over here, put that off to the side. We'll start a hand stitching pile. This next sweater, I think this one is actually chewed. Oh no, this is another one where it's just got a little hole in the shoulder. So that will go in the hand sew pile, hand stitch. This hem was chewed. And this is a Trixie chew, I can just tell. She loves a hem. So for this t-shirt, we're just gonna re-hem it essentially. We're just gonna roll this up and make a new hem for the shirt on the sewing machine. So that goes in a pile. These shorts, oh, I love these shorts. They have little cats on them. These are from Uniqlo a couple years ago. I love them. They're great for when I was self-tanning. I love these for a self-tan. But these ones have a hole chewed in the butt. So that is another hand stitch. Oh, I think these are a hand stitch too. These shorts, these are Lululemons. Yeah. And that's a little chew mark. Someone just got their little mouth on there and chewed them. And there's a couple in the waistband as well that we'll tackle. Oh, but look, this is the one with the hole in the shoulder. This one does have like this larger hole in it. Oh, I don't know. I think in the sewing machine, I could probably just like re-stitch it. I don't know if it's gonna affect the fit, but I might be able to just stitch up the armhole in the sewing machine. We'll try that. And I think this one's gonna have to be cropped to like crop it above this big hole in the back. It's not too high up. It will still fit for me. It would be too cropped for Jordan though. So this will become my shirt. And the last t-shirt, this is just like one of Jordan's big old t-shirts. The hem is fine. So it's probably in the sleeve. Ahaha, it's the hem of the sleeve. This one's easy. I can just like redo the edge here, but do you see all those little holes? Yeah, that's from a little girl chewing. So I can just take up the sleeve on both of these. I could probably just take it up to there. And the hole is gone. Yay! And the last one, this is totally different. This is one of my cardigans, my filming cardigans. And look at what she's done. She's like chewed at the crochet up there, but she's totally chewed up this whole edge. So what I'm gonna do is run it through the sewing machine and like stitch all of that together so that it doesn't start like fraying, you know? Can you see? Oh yeah, you can see against my face. Look what she's done. Look at that. Oh, crazy girl. All right, I'm gonna start with the easiest because I love an early win. I'm just going to throw a quick stitch in the top of this cardigan. I'm literally just loading this into my machine, and I'm just gonna go with a zigzag stitch over a couple of times. So, I mean, I can't see back there, so it doesn't count, right? That's how that works. Now I'm just gonna take my little nippers and I'm just cutting, not like all the way, not quite all the way, but just any of like that excess like frayed bits away. It doesn't like give me scratchies or anything. Okay, nice and repaired. She's got some give, but now all that crochet or knitting or whatever it is isn't gonna come apart. Next, we're gonna work on the t-shirts. I do have a gray thread and a gray bobbin, so I'm gonna load these and we will flip this shirt inside out. And again, I'm just gonna use a zigzag stitch to bring these two pieces together to repair the hole. It's not gonna be perfect, but it will make the shirt wearable. And that's all I really needed to do. I'm gonna throw a couple pins in this too, actually. Now it's all nicely pinned and we can run it through the machine. You know that feeling when you thread it first, like the first time you try? So good. Oh, nice and repaired. No more hole. It is a little wonky, but I'm not worried about that. Am I a professional? No. Did this shirt cost $40 and I can still wear it? Yes. I am going to very quickly trim up this edge too, just to make it as like clean as possible on the inside. For the next two that we're like redoing the hems for, I'm just gonna pre-cut them on my mat. That way it's just like super easy using my rotary cutter. I'm gonna do both arms just because then it's even. Like that would bug me if one was and one wasn't. I'm just tossing a pin in the center just to keep everything together before I cut. And I'm just gonna I'm freehanding this, okay? I'm not crazy. Ta-da! Hole is gone. And then I'm just gonna use this as a template for the other side. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want it to be relatively the same. Beautiful. I could leave these edges raw and like roll. I am gonna just do a quick little hem on them on the machine in a second, but you could leave them raw here and like that would be fine. And I'm gonna do the same sort of idea for the bottom of this shirt, but obviously not on the armholes. It's gonna go on the bottom hem. And this t-shirt is also like thicker, and so I am gonna hem this one too in the machine. Again, just some pins for, I don't know, I'm pin happy. I don't think you have to pin it. Just pins make me feel safe. And this probably makes sense to people who know math, but I failed grade 10 math twice, so I don't know math. But if you have a long piece to cut and it like goes edge to edge to your little board, just put it on an angle. You've got more width there. I'm sure that that's like a no-brainer, but I mean, I didn't think of it. So if you didn't think of it, that's okay too. This is a safe space for people who fail grade 10 math twice. Ba-bam! And I do save all my scraps. I have this like little repurposed trash can beside my workbench that I put on my scraps, and I don't throw them away, but they do go in this little trash can beside me so that the cats don't eat my scraps. Back to the machine. So remember when I just said like 2 minutes ago that we were gonna hem the sleeves of this shirt just like we did the gray one? I'm not gonna do that because I actually don't have any green thread and I couldn't find one that I liked, and it wouldn't have like a different color thread anywhere else. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I roll it. It is literally the easiest thing in the world. You literally are just pulling it and the fabric will roll upon itself. And I haven't had any issues, especially with these like athletic style tops. This kind of fabric tends to just stay that way. I don't know, it could be a miracle. I feel like you could throw like a hand stitch in a couple of places and make it a little bit more secure, but I'm not gonna fret too much about it. It stays really well. It stays when you wash it. It's a great solution, especially if you like don't have a sewing machine, but you need to either crop something, or in my case, like cut off where something's been bitten or chewed or has a hole in it. It's a great way to just like finish it off so it's not just like a straight up raw edge. Moving on to the hand sewing portion of this video. I'm going to be using an array of hand stitching. I am not a hand stitching expert. I just know that that is probably going to be the easiest way to fix all of this. So that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the cat shorts. I love these shorts. They are so freaking cute. For these shorts, I'm just gonna use some dark blue thread. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. It doesn't even really match. Like, it's not an exact match, but I'm not super duper worried about it. I'm just gonna do this in the way that makes the most sense to me. Again, motto of this channel. Is this the way it should be done? I don't know. Is it the way we're gonna do it? Yes. I have never once claimed to be a professional. I am but a girl with access to a sewing machine. Let's thread this bad boy. We'll be using this needle. Let's see if I can thread it. Oh, why did I grab that end? I like to lick it. Don't ask me why. Oh my God, not first try. Hold on. Retry. Reset. Let's pretend this is the first try. Yes! Okay. And I'm going to pull this all the way through till I get to the other end. Both of these little pieces, and I'm just gonna knot them. Do I know of another way to load a needle? No. So this is the way I'm gonna do it. There we go. And I'm gonna double knot it because I feel like that's the best thing to do here. She's double knotted. I'm going to pre-trim this bad boy just because I can, and flip these inside out and get stitching. And I'm not doing any sort of fancy stitch here. I'm literally just doing like the most basic of basic.
You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of wind and rain, doubts and blame. I'm a weary pirate, and my heart is made of dust and grain, and spoiled champagne. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come? Come and run away with me. Hey, won't you come? Won't you come? And save our chance. Don't you want a man who fully understands, who fully understands. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come? Come and run away with me. Hey, won't you come? Won't you come? And save our chance. Don't you want a man who fully understands? A sailor's heart, a sailor's heart.
Last one is all done, and in like 2 hours, I mended all of these clothes. This is crazy. Like, that was pretty fast. Oh my God. And I saved some dollars and some clothes from going into the landfill. Mending is so important, and like I think it's one of the most like useful skills and things you can do for yourself, especially in like today's economy. This is an Aritzia sweater, and I bought it on sale, and I think I paid like $40 for it, and it had a hole in it, and now it's all fixed and I can wear it again, and it has new life, and I'm able to get more wear out of it, keep it for longer, and actually like use the damn thing. That is very exciting. I'm like thinking about all of these clothes here. I probably have $150 worth of garments here that if I didn't think to mend, I would have probably just thrown away in another life. Like a previous version of me without a sewing machine and like not knowing that I could like do this and that it was an option, I would have just thrown these away. And this would have been sitting in a dumpster somewhere, rotting, not rotting. And now I can actually go back and wear these clothes for years to come. If you have some clothes in your closet that just have a little hole in them, or there's something wrong with the hem, or they don't quite fit right, just mend it, and it makes the world of a difference. And it also makes a world of a difference on your pocketbook, on your like climate consciousness. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. I had such a fun time with you. I will see you next Sunday. Like I said, we're doing lots of sewing, so we've got some actual garment making starting next week. I am so happy to have you. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Oh, a cat. Let me get you the cat that's the culprit for all of this. Come answer for your crimes against humanity. Can you tell the people why you chew all these clothes? Can you tell them? Sorry, she was sleeping. She was in a dead sleep. Oh, sorry, honey. You're gonna tell the people why you chew? Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I am a beginner seamstress. Seamstress is a strong word, I will say. I am self-taught, and I am literally learning everything along with you guys. So I wanted to make an in-depth video on one of my favorite techniques that I've learned over the past year, and that is a French seam. It boggled my mind for the longest time, so I have broken it down here in the way that makes the most sense to me, and hopefully that will help you figure it out too if you're struggling. Before we look at a French seam, I'm going to show you a regular seam. Here we have 2 pieces of satin fabric that I've joined together in a regular schmegular seam. I just have done a straight stitch all the way down, and here's what it looks like on the inside. There's no extra finishing. These raw edges are just gonna fray out. As you can see, they're just like gnarly, and over time this is not gonna hold. You put this in the wash and it will just come right undone. So we need to do something to help this seam last longer and also be more sturdy for wear. And if you don't have a serger, this is a great option. So here is the same fabric, but joined together with a French seam. We have the top stitch you can see, and that's like the original seam there. And here's what it looks like in the back. It's a huge difference. Everything is encased and it's super sturdy and strong. Like, this is not coming apart in the wash. Here's the 2 insides, like side by side, so you can really see the difference there. This is gonna just come apart any second, and this is here to stay, and it looks so much more professional and well made. So how do we get to this point? I'm gonna show you guys how we get here. I'm gonna just show you the things I like to have on hand when I'm doing French seams. I like to have a pair of needle tweezers. I use these to pull anything out of my sewing machine or move anything around, or just like as an extra level of control. These are just like needle nose tweezers. They work great. I have pins. I love a pin. I'm a pin hound, so any sort of pins. I do have some satin pins with us today. They are super fine and thin. That will be good for the type of fabric we're using. I have some safety scissors, just like your basic little scissors. Again, they're just like a great little thing to snip and get into stuff or work through seams. I like to have them close. An actual pair of scissors. You never know when you're gonna need them. I use these to like cut the threads at the end. And I have my rotary cutter. The rotary cutter is not a necessity. I just like it because it's quick and faster, especially if you're doing like an actual garment or rounded edges or anything like that. A rotary cutter is great. You can do all of this with a normal pair of scissors and it will be just fine. It's just a lot of cutting. The other materials I'm using are a sewing machine that is loaded with thread. My bobbin is loaded as well. And I have my tabletop ironing board set up here, but I have been ironing on a towel up until now. So this ironing board isn't even a necessity. Just a basic iron is all you're gonna need. There are quite a few ironing steps. Okay, I'm gonna run through the bulk of this tutorial, walkthrough, explanation with these 2 fabrics being joined. I picked these in particular because this is what helped me understand, because it took me forever to figure this out. I've been sewing for over a year and the French seam has always boggled my little brain. We're gonna use this very sheer mesh chiffon-y fabric and this dark navy so that you're able to see the inside of the seam at the end and you get a clearer picture of what it looks like, and hopefully that helps you understand it faster than I did. At this point, there's no right and wrong side of the fabric, so don't worry about that. But you do start with wrong sides facing instead of right sides facing, and I'll show you that when we go and do this part. Before we figure that out. I just want to show you how the seam is created and what it looks like. So that helps you better understand why we do it that way, or why a French seam, the steps are. But first, let's just like go through the mechanics of a French seam here. So I'm gonna line up my fabric, my mesh on top only because I like to be able to see it. And I'm gonna pop it on my sewing machine here, and this fabric can be kind of finicky. And I'm putting it on the first tick. It says 3/8 of an inch. It's also like a centimeter. And do a couple forward stitches, and I am gonna back stitch these just because that's what you would do in making a garment, and just sew straight. Yes, I'm missing my cover. Don't bully me about it. I don't know what I did. So now we have our first straight stitch. At this point, you've made a normal seam. This is very much just a normal seam. This is where things start to get fancy. We're gonna take it over to the ironing board. And on the board here, we are ironing it like normal. I just like to press the seam flat first and then open it up. And for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to press it to the side of the sheer fabric just so it's easier to see. Give it a quick little press. And we're gonna go in with our scissors and trim this down by about half. You can use your rotary cutter here. You can use your scissors. You just wanna get down, I don't know, about half or as little as a quarter off. It doesn't need to be perfect unless you're working with like a super sheer material. And now I've got it much smaller, and I'm just going to reinforce that press on the other side now. Press it to the side. Now you can see we have this doubled up part down here, and this is where things get fancy. We're gonna fold everything over itself and press it again. So now you can see that seam we had is now on the outside on this side, and everything we just cut is now inside sandwiched between our two pieces of fabric. I'm just gonna press that flat. The seam that we just put through the sewing machine is right here, and the inside is on the inside like a book. Like if you were to open it up, it's now a little flap in here, yeah? Right, back to the sewing machine. I like to do it at the edge of my presser foot here. That's the guide that I use. But what you really wanna be looking at is this hole in here. I'll show you just a sec. I'm looking at this where the needle's going in, not necessarily the side, because I want to make sure all of this folded over part is encased in here. I can tell just by looking at it where my needle sits here and the edge. Using this presser foot as my guide will cover it, and that's what I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna make sure it lines up here and is staying straight here. At this point, you have your French seam made. You can see in here, this is why I did it in the mesh, so you could see all of this is now encased. So this is that first seam we made on the outside. Now we have a second seam that we made here, and all of that loose frayed raw edge is sandwiched now in between two stitches and is super strong. The only other thing you need to do is press this open and flat. All right, here we go, our French seam. So on the outside, it looks just like the regular one. It looks just like a normal seam. But on the inside, we get this beautiful finished edge with all of the frayed fabric or the raw edge of the fabric tucked inside, and it's this little flap. And you could totally just leave it like this. If you're doing a project where you're lining it, or this is the lining and you want to do French seams, leave it like this. You don't need to do the extra step. But on projects where you want to add a little extra detail, or you want an exposed stitch line, do this extra step. We all know I'm extra, so I like to do this either in a matching thread or a contrasting thread, whatever you feel like works best for your project. I love to do a top stitch here. Working from the back, I go back to the sewing machine, I line everything up just like I did before, and I line my needle up with the edge of the flap, making sure everything's pulled out, and I do an extra stitch here. From the front of our fabric, it would look like this with the nice folded crisp edge, and then the beautiful top stitch on top of it. And then in the back, that little flap we had that was flipping is now held down nice, and everything will lay super duper flat. Now that we have the steps, I'm going to show you on fabric that has a clear front and back, like a wrong and a right side, because this is the part that always confused me. me. Here we have this beautiful pink satin. We're really using it because it has a really distinct front and back, or a wrong and a right side, as it's called in. So using the shiny side as our right side of our fabric for this demonstration, and the matte or the dull side as the wrong side. Let's go through the steps to make this French seam with the extra level layer of wrong and right sides. You would normally put right sides together like this, not with the French seam. You start with wrong sides together. And that is because we need to do 2 seams. All right, I'm gonna use the first tick again, a 3/8 of an inch or a centimeter. I'm gonna sew my first seam. First stitch put in. Now it is time to trim this up. Press the front and the back so it's nice and ready. Now we are taking the right sides together now, sandwiching that raw edge in between. Time for the second stitch, just like before. The presser foot right here as my guide. Right now we have our little burrito made in there and everything is tucked away. Our right sides are facing out like they should be, and our wrong sides now have that little flap. And there we go. The classic French seam, and it has that flap in. I'll show you guys the other one. So this is the right side of the fabric on that other demonstration we did, and here's the right side here. You can see this one has the extra top stitch and this one doesn't. And then on the inside, this one's got the little flap left and this one has it sewn down. Both are great, and they both just serve like a different purpose and can be used pretty interchangeably. They're exactly the same steps, except for this one has the extra top stitch. I hope that me showing you guys like this helps it makes more sense to you. It took me forever to wrap my brain around it, and it is such a useful stitch, especially if you don't have a serger or access to one or don't have the money to invest. This is such a simple, easy way to elevate the clothes you're making. Any garment or really any project can be elevated by using French seams. They are one of the easiest ways I found to really take project or garment from like craft to store-bought, or it does take a little extra time, but the more comfortable you get with your sewing machine, the more comfortable you get sewing, the faster and easier it becomes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you liked me, please click subscribe. I am so happy to have you. Please stay tuned. I post videos every Sunday, and for the next 3 months, I think you guys are gonna be getting a little bit of like a video like this every Wednesday. I have a big list of things. If there's anything in particular you would love for me to like really break down like I did in this video, let me know and I will add it to my list. I will see y'all later. Bye. Hey, it's Matt and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am in my seamstress era. Girl, we be sewing. There is something about springtime that like makes me just want to make things. Is that normal? Like, does everyone else feel that way? Like, I want to make stuff and I want to do stuff with my hands, and I mean, I want to do that all the time anyway, but especially this time of year, I feel like I've got this like burst of creativity, and I'm so excited to just like put my skills to the test, learn new skills, and like make something beautiful. Recently, my little sister and I have been going on cold plunges down at the beach. We live in Victoria, BC, so when in Rome, you go to the beach. So we've been going to the beach, and I have been dying for like a nice lightweight pullover skirt that I can put on top of like my biker shorts or a bathing suit, so that like I can wear something that like looks nice if we go to the grocery store after, and I'm not just like going in a bathing suit. Something that's easy, doesn't really wrinkle, and just like looks good disheveled and very easy breezy cover girl, you know, I came across this skirt on Pinterest and I really loved the vibes here, and I went, I can make that. We can totally make this. This is very doable. I feel like we can totally make this. And I'm so confident that we can make this that we are making this without a pattern. You heard me right? You heard it here, folks. We are doing this sans pattern. We're doing this without a pattern. We are doing this with just a thought and a prayer up to Miss Taylor Allison Swift. Please, Taylor, put the sewing gods in our corner. We are saying, please help. So let's do it. I have a couple of fabric options that I wanted to run by you guys. I recently picked up these fabrics from the fabric store. Oh, hold on. I'm feeling very blue today, but we're not going with blue here. The first option is this really pretty 4-way stretch, dusty, muted pink fabric. The fabric is so soft, and I can like tell that it would be super breathable. It would be pretty lightweight. I like the way it drapes and the way it sits. I feel like it would be very pretty and really nice, especially just for like a beach skirt. I think this would work really well. And I also have this beautiful like hunter green color. I love this color. I'm a green girl. I don't know. I have trouble staying away from green. It's this really lightweight. It's almost sheer. Like when you put it up to the light, you can almost see through it, like, but it's not quite sheer. I think this would drape really well. I also think that this is gonna give the same like texture as the one in our inspo picture. I'll remind you. It has that like crepey texture. I don't have crepe fabric, but this is a lot closer. The green is a lot closer to the crepe than this like stretch knit jersey fabric. Even though this one is softer and I really love this, I feel like we should go with the green. I really think the green would be so pretty. I think it's going to be super flowy and super airy, and I think it's going to make a really nice skirt. With the fabric decided, going with this green I think is the right choice here. I want to take a quick peek at that inspo pic again and just like really see if I can deconstruct it in my brain, because I feel like that's the only way to like make the pieces. I feel like the pieces are going to be simple, but let's look at it and like deconstruct it. So looking at the top here, like going top to bottom, it is like a waistband, which I feel like we're gonna do like a gathered elastic waistband, just something super simple. This skirt is 3 tiers. I like the 3 tiers. It does look like they're gathered. So this fabric looks to be like crepey material, but then also the seams and the hems are gathered. So we can definitely do that. We can gather this, and that's a super simple step to add a little bit more movement and volume, but I don't want it to be poofy. So when we think about the size of our panels, what I like about this skirt and what I want to keep is it falls pretty flat. It does have movement, but it's not poofy by any means. Like it's not bulbous. It falls pretty flat, and I like the seams here. I feel like we could do gathered French seams. That feels a little ambitious, but I have been practicing my French seams. I just did a whole video like breaking down French seams, so if you want to go watch that, give it a look where we can break that down. I feel like I can do French seams on each of the tiers. That way we can get that gathered look with also having that like, it looks like there's like it's sewn twice. I think we can achieve that with a reverse French seam. And other than that, and other than it being green, I totally feel like we can achieve this. And I'm hoping to get it done this afternoon. Do you think maybe? It's 12:30 now. So let's see how much of this we can get done today. My plan of attack here is to cut out each piece as it goes. I'm gonna cut out the waist and tier 1 together because they're gonna be one piece. And then I'm gonna cut out tier 2, and then I'm gonna cut out tier 3, and then we can join them all. All right, I have all 3 of my tiers cut out, and I am ready to add my gathering stitches. This is super simple. We've gone over gathering stitches before in this channel. I'm doing gathering stitches on the top and bottom edge of each panel. Before we join anything together or do anything else, those gathering stitches need to go in so that we can sew them in when we do our French seams. I'm always nervous before I do the first stitch. I don't know why. I'm always like panicking that it's wrong, but it's okay. It will be okay. The top here is in. I've got 2 rows of stitches here. I'll show you. I've got 2 rows of gathering stitch at the top. I'm going to do the same at the bottom, and then do the same for the other 3 pieces. This is a great time to practice your straight stitch. I love to put a show on. I'm currently rewatching Supernatural. You want to tell me which show you watch when you're doing projects? Please let me know. I'm open to suggestions. Bonus points if it's paranormal, sci-fi-y. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite show is to watch while you're working on projects. When I'm doing gathering stitches, I always put a little jar of my bobbins that I have from projects where like I had bobbin left in the thread but the project is done and there's like not enough to do a full project. You go through a lot of thread doing gathering stitches. So I like to use up all my extra odds and ends when gathering. So that's just like a little tip I've picked up for you. The gathering stitches are all in, and now it's time for the funnest part of a gathering project, or I should say my favorite part of a gathering project, and that is the actual act of gathering. I think this fabric is gonna look so pretty all gathered. You can kind of already see it wanting to bunch up, which is very nice. So the situation we are working with here is I want the top edge, the waistband edge, to be a waist measurement, and that I'm going to just gather this whole edge to equal that measurement, and then we will play with the volume and stuff of the bottom tier.
Let it all out the window. No smoke in my eyes. I can hear the wind sighing. It's always been you in the back of my mind. Let it all go. Out the window. Smoke in my eyes. I can hear the wind sighing. It's always been you in the back.
Okay guys, this is no longer a sewing video. It's just a move video. It's just a move video.
Hi, it is 5:23. I hated what I was making. The gathering was not the move. I absolutely hated that. Had a little moment to myself, a little mentee bee in the middle of this project. Here's what I'm doing instead. I just did it because I needed to see like if I liked the way it looked, and I do. So here's my new plan. I recut my panels. Recut them. She's recut. I made them about 20 centimeters wider, and I made them all one length. Instead of doing like the tiers different widths, different widths, I made them all the same, like circumference. I made them all the same, and what I'm doing is something closer to the actual picture. I went and I looked back at the proportions of that skirt, and that, like, the first one is much larger. I'll put it here, and you can see the proportions here make more sense, and I don't know what got into my little brain, like little worm in my brain that said, oh, they need to be even. Girl, that's crazy. I put it up against me. I'm not even gonna show you because it was ugly, and the gathers were ugly. This fabric just wasn't the right move for this project, and that's okay. It's okay. We live and we learn. Recut my pieces more closer to these proportions, and instead of gathering each individual piece, what I'm going to do is gather the top at the waistband and have like the waistband be the part where it's gathered, and then just have the tiers sewn together. That's what I'm doing instead. But because it is 5:26 now, I'm gonna eat some dinner and come back at this tomorrow with some fresh eyes so that I don't scream, because I'm very close to screaming. Very close. So I'm gonna chill out, and we'll come back. We'll revisit this tomorrow. An afternoon project she was not, but you know what? You win some, you lose some. I lost this round. I will win the war. I don't like battle can I go on a tangent here? I hate war analogies. I don't know why I used that one. I hate it, but I can't think of a better one, so it's the one we're using. Okay, I'll see y'all in the morning, and hopefully I'm in a better mood, because right now I'm in a foul mood.
Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. It's the next day. We're still working on the skirt.
This is now Moo's channel. Okay, I just want to put that out there. This is now Moo's channel. This is no longer a sewing channel. This is no longer a DIY channel. This is no longer about me. It's about her and her only. It is just about her. Hi, good morning. I am in a better mood. I have had to let go of the fact that the skirt is not going to look like the inspo. The inspo is more like, hey, I like this concept. I just don't have the right kind of fabric for it. That sort of creepy texture. I did a bunch of Googling last night. That's like a special kind of fabric. This fabric is not that. This fabric will never look like that no matter what I do. This skirt's gonna be its own thing. And it just be a skirt, and that's how they'll be similar, and that's fine. So I've had to work on accepting that. I hope you can accept it too. Remember when I said we were winning the war? Turns out we weren't even reading the same book. We weren't even at the same battle. I showed up somewhere completely different. I didn't show up to the meeting place. So we're just gonna finish this skirt in the way that makes the most sense that I know how to do. At this point, it is just like this big panel with our top section here, the middle section, and then the bottom, and it's just this long piece. So what I'm gonna do is sew the width together in the back, and I'm not gonna do a French seam on this stitch. I'm gonna do a French seam on this stitch, but I'm just gonna do a regular schmegular French seam. I'm not gonna do the reverse situation like we do for each of the tiers, and that is going to close up the circle. That's going to like make it so that it's like a tube. It will be a big tube, and then we can hem the tube and put an elastic band in the tube, and it will be a skirt. It will serve the purpose I wanted to in the beginning. It will do the thing, it will do the job. I'm still happy with it, I'm still proud, but it's just gonna be something different. And if there's something I've learned about sewing or learning how to do new things or working on new projects, is more often than not, you don't get what you planned, you get something else, and you just have to learn along the way. Things rarely go to plan, especially when you're learning. It won't be what I dreamed, but it will be what I made, and that's something. I still made this with my own little hands. My little grubby hands still made this, and I'm still proud of it, and it's still progress. So I'm not upset about it. I'm working on letting go. I would be happier if it worked out exactly the way it did in my mind, but I'm practicing letting go. I have a tube, my friends. I have a hemmed tube. I did a super simple rolled hem on this. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It is just like super easy to do with this type of fabric. You just roll it and go. I didn't even iron. I didn't even pin. And you know your girl. She loves a pin. I just vibed that one out. So we have tube. It is a nice tube. She's looking cute. She's looking great. She needs a little shape. And what's gonna give us our shape is our elastic. And I am using some super duper scientific method to get my waist measurement, and that is taking a piece of elastic and going like this. That feels good. That's a good amount of elastic. That's as much as elastic as I'm gonna use. So this is how much I'm using. Use however much fits where you want it to sit. But before we can thread our elastic, I'm gonna take our tube back to the sewing machine. I'm gonna turn it inside out and fold over the top of the tube, the part that we didn't hem. And I'm making the tube, the little fold over about just like maybe half a centimeter bigger than my elastic is. The elastic does have like a little bit of room in there, but not super big and not like too tight, because you don't want the elastic to like bunch up in there and get like stuck and folded and weird. So you want to give it a little bit of room, only about, I don't know, half a centimeter, a quarter of an inch, or 3/8 of an inch. I think that's the, and it doesn't need to be totally perfect, just whatever your elastic is, just add a little bit of extra room. And I'm not sewing a full loop. I'm leaving about a 5 centimeter, 1 inch gap in the back so that we can feed our elastic through that after, and I'm front and back stitching on both the sides. I'm using the safety pin method for this elastic to thread it. I'm just gonna pop this elastic
on the safety pin like this. She's on there, and then in that little pocket I left in the back where I didn't sew it all the way, I'm going to shove the safety pin in and use that pin to thread through. And the safety pin you can grab and pull in the fabric a lot easier than the elastic. I tried to do this crazy ways in the beginning. This is definitely the best way to do this. Okay, and I'm at the other end here, waiting for the safety pin to emerge. There she is. Dun 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 dun. And now it's just about futzing all this stuff around. You can see this is bunching up really nicely, and I'm gonna get some nice volume from doing it this way. I didn't need to do all them ruffles and gathers and stuff. That just wasn't necessary. At this point, just for like extra security and like peace of mind in the elastic, I will take both ends of the elastic and safety pin them together so that I don't lose either end in the tube and have to do it all over again. Ta-da! There we go. So this is the factory edge here and there, and then on the outside it's gonna look like this. But before we do that, I gotta finish off this elastic. Finishing the elastic is super simple. I'm doing a box stitch on the elastic where they overlap. I have them overlapping about 2.5 centimeters, an inch-ish, and this box stitch will allow the elastic to stretch without coming apart. And once that box stitch is on, I'm just finishing off the little tube we did by adding a stitch to close it off so that everything's tucked away nice and neatly. Okay, I think it's time that we try this puppy on. You know, sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen until it happens, and this is the prime example of that. I think I struggled so hard with this skirt because I said I wanted one thing, but my heart, my brain, and my hands did a whole other thing. I'm realizing after styling this, putting it on, getting like an outfit together with it, that I did not make a skirt for the beach. I didn't want a skirt for the beach. I do practically want a skirt for the beach in my little brain, but that's not what I wanted to make. It's not what my heart wanted to make. It's not what my brain wanted to make. It's not what my little hands wanted to make. I realized I made a fall time skirt, not a springtime skirt, because just like every other girl in the world, my favorite time of the year is fall. And when I think of cute clothes, I think of fall clothes. And I'm realizing I know how to make two things aesthetically: summer and fall. And that just makes this project make so much more sense to me. Once you put her in the right context, I actually love her. She's super lightweight, super versatile. I could see myself putting tights on under this in the fall, wearing it into the winter. It's pretty mild here, so you can get away with that sort of stuff. Once I put on the big cable knit, put on some jewelry, put my glasses on, I went, oh, yeah, I need a book, I need a chai tea latte, and I need to go to a library. That's what I need to be doing. I need to be living my librarian girl fantasy. Who knew? Who knew? The girl at the beginning of this video, that Madison, had no idea. Let this just be a lesson, folks. Sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you need. And what I needed was a fall skirt, and I didn't know it, even though it's April. I'm ready for fall. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This was a struggle, but we made it. We made it somewhere beautiful. And you know what? That's all that matters. I am happy to struggle if at the end I feel satisfied. And I do. I hope you do as well. I will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. I should say right now, if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the? Do it. Duh. Like, if you're still watching at this point and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Like, you're just teasing me. Let's do the thing. I'm here every Sunday. Let's hang out. I would love to have you. If you have any comments or concerns, leave them down below. I already know what you're gonna say. Pockets. Yes, I should have done pockets. No, I don't know how to do them. Yes, it is on my list to learn. We'll get there eventually. Stay with me, folks. I will see y'all later. Oh, Ketchup has volunteered herself to be the cat of the week. Say goodbye, Ketchup. Oh, you want to show them your paws? What? She's got the cutest little paws. Look at them. Oh, you baby. She's just a little baby. She's so miserable. Just a little girl with little paws. Love you. My girl, I love you so much. See y'all later. Bye. Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to see you. I am so excited. I am so excited for this week's project. we are doing, again, something I've never done. If that's not a theme, then I don't know what is. And because of that, you know what I do not own that I desire so very deeply? A jacket like this. Look at it. Look how cute. And the girl, I been scrolling on the internet, and the girls have been making them out of blankets, and I went, oh my god, I can do that. I think I might be able to do that. Maybe with a little luck, a little gumption, and some terror, because I'm terrified, because I want this so bad. Look at it. So I've been on the hunt for a blanket, or even like just like normal fabric at the thrift store. If you are new to this channel, I love to use secondhand when I can. So I have been on the hunt at my thrift store, and I finally found the perfect piece to make this jacket out of. Oh, are you ready? Because I don't think you're ready. Hold on to your horses. Nay, nay. Are you ready? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Look at her. Oh, look at her. She is beautiful. And it is the most beautiful blue, like almost twill situation. I don't know if it's traditional twill, but it is definitely like in that theme. There's like this little silhouette of this girl with her dog at a lake. And then there's also like these beautiful bunches of flowers and trees. And it's just the most beautiful motifs in that light blue twill color. And it has this quilting pattern that is just amazing. And my favorite part of this quilt, all of the edges are scalloped. Look at this. I'm a sucker for a scalloped edge. I love something like this. I think it is so pretty. I think it is so feminine. I also love like the extra level of detail it adds to something. Like, who doesn't love a scalloped edge? So I feel like I'm gonna deface this. Now, before you start getting mad at me in the comments for ruining this quilt, I am going to be so strategic on how and where I cut out my pieces, because I want to save as much of this blanket as possible, and I am going to like re-edge, cut it, and make it nice, and I'm going to use this as a quilt. This quilt is huge. I'm pretty sure it's a king size quilt, and I have a queen bed, so I can lose a little bit and it can still work. It will look beautiful folded up at the end of my bed. So don't worry, I'm not gonna like make this jacket and throw the rest of this away. This is too good of a find for me to like get rid of. So I will, after this project, tidy up the edges and throw it on my bed and use it, because I love this quilt. Okay, don't come for me. I've already planned to not throw it away. Don't worry. What other? And I only paid $20 for this quilt. Only paid 20 bucks, which that actually is a good price. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, the other information you need to know before we start this project is I am using this pattern from Indie Patterns on Etsy. I'm using this pattern as a base, so I've already made all the changes, but this is the base pattern I'm using. If you're looking for patterns that are like super simple and easy to use, I like her patterns. I found they print out really easily, they come with great instructions, and she normally does like really good sales on the patterns reused for other things. So I bought this as a good base for any kind of jacket I wanted to make. I thought that it would be the most universal. The biggest changes we're making from this is I'm not gonna use a zipper because I wanna use that scalloped edge of the quilt. So we're omitting the zipper here. We're making it a little wider, and I'm cropping it a little more, and we're changing the sleeve altogether. So yes. And we're adding a collar. So I am making a totally different jacket than this. That's enough of me rambling. Let's start cutting. Here is the configuration I've decided on. I'm gonna cut out my back piece on the fold like I'm supposed to. And these ends, instead of leaving them flat, I'm kind of lining them up with the scalloped edge, doing my best to keep it super even, and making it so the bottom of the coat that sits like here. The part here is scalloped. I did originally want the sleeves to be scalloped, but I think I have to let that go in order to preserve as much blanket as possible, because if I scallop, like I do the edge, like I could do it myself if I really wanted to, but I'm gonna have to use the long end of the blanket, and I would prefer to use like the width end, the short end, so that when I fold the blanket, I have a clean edge there and it's not like one side isn't. Do you know what I mean? Like that just makes more sense in saving the garment. And then on the, not the garment, saving the blanket. And then I'm gonna cut this front piece out of the corner here so that the bottom is scalloped, and then the part that is here, so the part that's like here in me is scalloped too, you know? So it's pretty like that there. And I would love for this to have a collar, but looking at it, I would have to like cut out another strip up here. We'll see. We'll see if I can make a collar work. I hardly have room as it is, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna make it as is, and I can add a collar. Like the collar is like the last step, so I'm not super worried about like not having it cut out first. Oh, I'm panicking. Can you feel the anxiety? Can you feel the anxiety through the camera? Because I'm like I don't want to cut this. I did call my grandma and ask her if this was right. I was like, Grandma, can you please help? Because if I got this wrong, I would cry myself to sleep every night for the next week. So, okay. I'm procrastinating now. Oh, hi, Seven. Hi, buddy. Are you being helpful? Hey, bud. Say hi. Oh, baby. Oh, there's another baby. Oh, it's another baby. There she is. Okay. Let's cut it out. Deep breath. Okay, let's do it. The back piece I'm the most confident about. Cutting it on the center fold, that's like super normal, so I'm not like super worried about that. It's just those front pieces I'm really nervous about, and the sleeves. Like making sure I can fit the sleeves in this is gonna be kind of crazy, but let's cut. My rotary cutters are really coming in clutch here. And I have added extra seam allowance because this is a quilt and it's a little bulkier. I just want to make sure that if I have to trim stuff or if I have to like go back, I would rather have more than not enough, you know? Rotary cutters are right. Okay, here's the back. You want to sneak peek? Oh, this is gonna be so pretty. Oh, the scalloped edge is so sweet. Oh, this is gonna be the cutest little jacket you ever did see. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, sleeve time. Okay, sleeves. I feel like it's possible. I'd have to make them shorter than I want them to be. I'm stressing out. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Are you ready for it, Moo? Are you ready to see what it looks like? Are you ready? Oh my goodness, you've just been the star of the show lately, haven't you? Look at her. Oh, okay, bye. Okay, guys. It's looking good. So I just put through some pins in it just to check a couple of things. First, the sleeve length, because we did have to futz with it. I don't hate the sleeve length. I think it actually sits nicely. It's gonna sit like right here. Do you see? It's hard to hold it and hold the mic. Hold on. Let me plop you here. Yeah, the sleeve is gonna sit here and it's pretty stiff, so it is gonna hold its shape, which I like. I like that it's like a good amount, and I am loving this scalloped edge on the bottom. I think it's absolutely darling and beautiful. There are two things I'm thinking about right now. One is what to do with this neckline here. In the jacket pattern, it has you like cutting it straight and more. I don't like that. Because of the scalloped edge on the inside here, I kind of have the two of them, you see? Like I kind of have them sitting like that. I don't really want to ruin that, so I cut it like so that it lines up, but it's not crazy. I think I'm gonna cut it down a little bit more in the front here and then just finish this raw edge with like a zigzag stitch or something. I was considering putting a button in so that I could like button it closed right here. I don't know about that. I think it just covers up enough, and I could do it without a closure, or maybe like a little ribbon. If I put in like hand sew in a little ribbon on the inside, I could tie it in a little bow to keep it closed if I wanted to do that. I think that's an option. The other thing I'm thinking about is a collar. That's the other option. That would also impact this area here if I were to do a collar. I know the inspo pic has that big collar, and honestly a big reason why I like it has that big collar. But now that I've cut up this fabric and I'm feeling how stiff it is, and like how, especially how the sleeves sit and how this is sitting, I think if I did a big collar, it is just gonna be really stiff instead of flouncy. Like, you know what I mean? Like the thing, if I'm gonna pull that inspo pic back up. I love this collar because it feels like a scarf. You know what I mean? Like it feels like really luxe and cozy and squishy and loosey-goosey and like really casual. I think if I were to put a collar on this in this quilted material, it would be really, really stiff, and it's gonna be more structured, and I don't know about that. I don't think that's the vibe. So I think we're gonna skip the collar and just do like a nice finished edge all the way around. Oh, hi Moo, what do you think? Can I interview you? Did I catch that? I hope I did. Is that really what you mean? What did I interrupt you going to go chew the plant? I interrupted her going to chew the plant, and that's what she's upset about. Okay, yeah, you can lay down. That's fine. You can hang out. I'm gonna think about this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish all the raw edges. I don't need to finish the raw edges at the bottom because they're already done. I'm gonna throw a zigzag stitch in everything that's exposed, even parts that are going to be sewn together. I'm gonna finish all these raw edges and think about these things, and I will get back to you on what I decide. You will be the first to know what I decide.
Take every brother and sister of mine. Roll in the sunshine and sleep when it's dark.
I literally just finished doing the zigzag stitch around all the edges, and look, this, I've been blessed. Look at this, look. Look, my bobbin just ran out. Like, look at how much there is left on my bobbin, and I just finished all of it. That has to mean something, right? Like, that's gotta be good luck for 10 years or something. So I've been thinking this whole time that I did this, and I still don't know about those questions. So I need more time to think. And while I'm thinking, I know that like I can assemble this pretty quickly at this point, just attaching the two front pieces to the back and then attaching the sleeves, and then we can put it on and assess if we're done or if we want to add a collar. I feel like it's going to be a no-go for the collar purely because like this amount of fabric is perfect. If I were to make a collar, I'd have to like lose more blanket, but assembling this is the next logical step, and I can do that without like messing anything else up, and we'll have a little jacket.
It's mad, 'cause it's mad, it's all mad. It's mad out there. 'Cause it's black, yeah, it's black.
It's me again. Hi, how are you? Did you miss me? You were just watching me. Never mind, don't answer that. So I just sewed on the shoulders here. They look good, like it looks fine, but I am like thinking just about like the longevity of this garment. I'm falling in love with it. I think it is so cute, and I really want to make sure it's sturdy and isn't gonna like fall apart on me. So on the inside here, can you see how this looks? So I've got my zigzag stitch here, and then on the inside is like about 1 centimeter in, 1/4 of an inch. I have my seam that's like holding the two pieces together. What I want to do is press the seam open like this so that these edges, the parts where they have the zigzag, lays flat, and I'm gonna do a stitch on each side. So there will be 3 seams holding all this together to take some of the pressure off that center seam, make sure it's super secure, and that will also help this lay flat on the inside because it is pretty bulky. I did try to like make it as flat as possible, but it is a little bulky, and I think that will really help. I'm just gonna show you guys quickly the difference between like this seam here. So this is the inside, it's like sticking straight up, and this is what it is after I've pressed it. See, it lays nice and flat. So when I add those extra stitches, they're gonna be like a stitch right to the side here and a right to the side on the back, and this will lay super flat on my shoulder.
The defense also tried to
You guys, this is the coolest thing I've ever made. I've literally never made anything this cool. I'm so proud of this. It is 7 p.m., which means I need to eat dinner, but I'm going to style this for you tomorrow, and we will make a couple of outfits, and I'll show you guys the final reveal.
Feet up on the dash and the calling open road. Road trip classics on the radio. With your hand tied in mine, there's no such thing as time. Now we can go anywhere you wanna go. Ooh, there's no.
All right, you guys, I am so proud of myself with this project. I think it is a beautiful example of how far my sewing skills have come and my confidence in using this sorry, she's rustling in a bag. We got a paper bag from the grocery store and Trixie keeps running in and out of it, so if you hear rustling, that's what that is. I can't take it away from her. She's too happy. Anyway, I think this is a beautiful example of how my sewing skills have grown. Again, I'm a home sewer and I am like learning all of this from scratch with occasional FaceTimes from my grandma, who's also like self-taught. The fact that I was able to make this in an afternoon, I am so proud of myself. I couldn't have planned it better. I feel like I executed this really well, and I feel like I made the cutest little jacket, and I was able to conserve the amount of fabric I was using and keep the blanket. So now I have this beautiful quilt and this really cute jacket, and now I'm just, I'm beside myself on how happy I am. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, please give it a like. Any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. You know I'm always in there and I will answer every comment, concern that you have. I will do my very best. And if you like this video or you like me, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you here. So I will see y'all next week. Bye. Hey, it's Nads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? Welcome. This Sunday, I thought we would get cozy. Girls, I am in my favorite gas station sweater and my jammy pants and my slippers. Cause it's a rainy day. It's raining. It's nasty out there, and I just wanted to curl up and work on a sewing project that I have had in my brain for a long time. You guys know I'm just like every other girl, and I love an Aritzia bodysuit. I think they're perfect for summer. They're perfect for casual. You can dress them up. You know the versatility of an Aritzia bodysuit. I don't need to tell you that. But what I do need to tell you is that they're expensive. They're great quality. They do last. I'm not saying that they're not worth the money and that don't go buy that if that's what you want to spend your money on. But I can't be. I want too many of them. I like too many of them. And my wallet, my pocketbook, she ain't that thick. I don't have Aritzia bodysuit money right now, but what I do have is access to the internet and access to a sewing machine and my little hands. I do have these hands. And you know what these hands can do? They can make a dupe. They can make an at-home Aritzia bodysuit, which is what we're going to do today. I'm so excited. You guys know I love secondhand options, and I'm always looking for new ways to use up something that would end up in the landfill, or reuse something, or give something new life. That is something I love to do and that I make a big part of this channel. And in that, I have been looking for new places to buy fabric that aren't necessarily like the generic fabric store. And in my search, I have come across this website. I'll put it here. They are called Our Social Fabrics. They're based in Vancouver, BC, which is just like, from what I can tell, they stock, dead stock, overstock fabric, like from the bolt. They get fabric from retailers who produce in Vancouver or other places in Canada. I think they also get from places like in the States and stuff like that. I'm not partnered with them or anything. I am just a person who ordered here, but I thought they were really cool. I liked the idea that I could buy higher end fabric at a cheaper price because there's only like a meter or 2 meters of it at a time. They're not selling bulk. You can't get a lot of the same fabric, but you can get enough to make a garment or two. And that's what I've done here. I picked up this fabric and they have it labeled as a lycra, which when I was searching this up, it has a very similar, it's almost the exact same like makeup as the Aritzia bodysuits, and it feels like very close to that. Like it isn't quite as soft like I find that the Aritzia ones are very buttery. This isn't quite buttery, but it is very soft, it is very thick and very stretchy. So this is their Lycra in Ecru, and it is an 82% poly and 8% Lycra blend, which was very close to the Aritzia, as close as I could find. I got 2 meters at 160 centimeters. I got 2 meters of it for $12.50. I paid $12.50 for all this fabric, and they shipped it to me. They brought it right to my house. So I'm very happy. So if you are in Canada, I don't know if they ship to the States. If you're in Canada and you are looking for somewhere that stocks higher end fabric, if you see something on there you like, give it an order, because I had a great experience. They were really kind. I love what they sent me. I also bought some other fabric for another project down the line, but that's another story. For these Aritzia bodysuits, we are going to be using this Ecru fabric, which I'm very excited to have. And this fabric alone at the fabric store would have cost me like $60, $70. It's very nice. It feels really good. It feels really sturdy, and I'm very excited to work with it. So if you are in Canada, please go and check them out if you're looking for a fabric. I had a really great experience buying from them. No complaints so far. Not sponsored or anything. I'm just a girl with access to Google. I Googled, I got it. Regular person. The other bit of information that you will need to know, that I bought this bodysuit pattern off of Etsy. There are tons of pattern options on Etsy. This was on sale from a seller who I've bought a few patterns from before. So I know I like her patterns. I know I like how they're set up. I like how they print. I know I understand how she writes her instructions. So I've gone with this one, but it is very versatile. You could totally use a bodysuit that you already have existing for this, or you could even just use like a tank top that you have. I'm using a pattern because I like, for me, and I want more practice using patterns. So I went ahead and did a pattern, but it's totally unnecessary. But if you are looking for a pattern, her patterns are great, and she does really great sales. So if you're looking for one, check them out. Like all patterns you buy on Etsy that you print off yourself at home, I have to cut this one out. I'm cutting out the medium size. Some of my measurements did fit into the small, but in my experience, it's better to size up in a pattern than size down, especially when you're working with something that's going to be tight fitting. The fabric we are using is very stretchy, but I do want to make sure I have a good fit, and it's so much easier to take away than to add. So I always err on the side of a little bit too big, and I can always make alterations later. When I'm cutting out a pattern, I like to use my cutting mat, an X-Acto blade, and scissors if I so feel I need them, and just Scotch tape to tape everything together. This is my like meditation time. I treat it like arts and crafts, and I'm putting together this, it's like, it feels like a puzzle whenever I'm doing a pattern like this. And this is like, sometimes this is my favorite part, other than when things come together and make sense. This can be my favorite part of a project sometimes. Really just like, it scratches my brain in a very specific way.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night.
This pattern calls for a long sleeve. I like the long sleeve option, but for this project in particular, I want something closer to three-quarter length, a little bit shorter. Not quite short sleeve, but I like something that like covers my upper arm. I don't know, I just feel more comfortable. So I'm gonna take around the 15-inch mark it with my ruler, and just do a cheeky little fold there, and fold it so I know where I can cut it, but I'm not gonna like ruin the pattern. And you can see the pattern kind of calls for this like outy bit. I'm just gonna do that when I cut it. I just know to like do a little whale tail on it when I go to cut the actual piece out of the fabric.
Feel so lucky, oh, oh, oh. Still can't believe you love me.
Now that I have all my pieces cut out, the next step is to start finishing all the edges. My pattern has me overlocking them. I don't have an overlocker foot or a serger, so I'm using the tried and true zigzag stitch method, going around all the edges with that zigzag stitch so that if anything unravels, the zigzag stitch will stop it. All of these seams are going to be hidden, so you're not going to see them, but this does give that like extra level of like store-bought protection to make sure that your fabric doesn't fray on any of your seams. I popped on some dark thread onto my machine so that I could show you guys this zigzag stitch method so you could really see it while I was doing it. If you can see here, you can really see it. I'm using the side of my presser foot as my like depth gauge for where I'm putting my needle, and I have my sewing machine set to the widest zigzag stitch possible, and I'm just following along the line. It's super simple. The only thing I'm doing fancy is that at like every turn and every junction, I'm backstitching just a couple of back stitches just to like make that corner not curl in and it stays flat. So I'm getting to like a point where I have to turn, do a couple more, go back a couple, and forward. And I always pivot my needle, my project with the needle down in the fabric, and then you just turn it and it's not going to get moved around or anything. I'm also stretching this fabric a little while I'm going. I find with any knit stretch, you just want to not like super stretch it out, but just have a little bit of a tug in it, and it does make for a smoother stitch and allow the stitches to stretch with the fabric a little easier. With that darker thread, you can really see what I did here. Now, my stitches aren't perfect. They never will be. I am just a girl with a sewing machine, but they look pretty good to me, and they got lots of stretch in them. You can see they're about just under a centimeter from the edge there. It's time to start assembling. All my fronts and backs together, so I'm double lined. The next step is to sew the shoulders together, and it's super simple. These are in, and like we're getting somewhere. Look. Okay. The bodysuit may be bodysuiting. Oh, my hair fell out. Hair change. Ooh, new hairstyle in the middle of the video. How fun. Okay, focus, Madison. And for my sleeves, I'm actually gonna use my pins because I don't trust myself that much, you know?
Although it hurts me, be with you.
Okay, I think my mic died. Something got turned off. I don't know. So I don't think you guys heard me talk in there. Hopefully I fixed that in post. I'm on to the final step here. I'm just going to sew that final seam between the arm and all the way down the side and really pull this bodysuit together.
You guys, hello. Look at her. She's beautiful. I am so happy with how she turned out. I think I told you, but I decided to do this like dark brown over stitch, and I think it turned out so super pretty. I do have to let you in on a secret though. I did chop off the bottom of the bodysuit part because I looked at how big the like little thing was, you know, the part that goes, and I went, maybe not designed for a girl like me. So I just like chopped it right here and hemmed it, and now it's just like a nice little tuck-in shirt, nice and long. It goes to about here, and I feel so good and supported. I am so happy I decided to double line this. It feels, I could have bought this at Aritzia for $60, $70. The 3/4 lengths with these necklines can be like $70, $80. So I just saved myself a bunch of money. I did this in an afternoon. I am so pleased with myself. I will definitely be doing more Aritzia dupes. This like got me interested. I want to see what else I can dupe there because I would be an Aritzia girl if I had an Aritzia girl budget. I'm really interested to see if I could make some of it. You know, I think that'd be fun and interesting. So if you want to see more Aritzia duping or like any other brand at-home versions, please let me know down in the comments. You know, I always love a suggestion. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. It was a pleasure to have you. If you have made it this far in the video and you are not subscribed, what the heck? What the heckin' heck? Like, seriously, like, come on, like, just subscribe. Like, you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. And if you don't, I'll cry. I'll cry. And do you want me to cry? You will be responsible for me crying. I mean, to be fair, I'll probably gonna cry anyway. But still, I'll make it your fault. So you better like and subscribe. Comment down below what other things you want me to make from Aritzia. Let me know. I think this was a win. I'm taking this as a real win. I will see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, I haven't shown you guys a cat in a while. You want to see one? Oh, Seven, are you volunteering? He thinks it's dinner time, which it is not, but look at it. This is my cat. Look at it. Oh, he's so handsome. Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to see you. Are you ready to sew? Because girls, I am ready to sew, and I am ready to tackle a little bit more of a complex project, something to challenge me a little bit. I've gained some confidence over this last year, and I really feel like I can tackle something a little more technical, and it's kind of scary, and I'm freaking out a little bit, and I've been procrastinating making this video because I'm scared. Okay, I'm really actually scared. I know nothing bad is gonna happen, but like, what if I can't do it? What if it's really bad? If it's really bad, we can pretend like this never happened. You'll still watch the video because tragedy is always fun to see, but if it's really bad, don't tell me about it. If it's really bad, please just comment down below, oh my god, that was beautiful, that was amazing, because I'm not gonna be able to handle it emotionally. I've been collecting and perusing and looking at patterns and inspiration photos and stuff, and from my Aritzia video last week, if you haven't gone to see that video, go and watch it. I think it's really pretty, but I also had this pattern saved. Okay, I think it's within the realm of possibilities. I have gotten a lot more proficient with my sewing machine, and I feel like I'm ready to tackle something a little bit more. What I'm worried about is those like princess seams and getting those really right. And this also has darts and zippers involved in a style of dart I've never done before in the back. But other than that, I think it's okay. I think it's... Hold on. I'm freaking out. It's gonna be okay. It's just a dress. It's just a dress. It's gonna be okay. Okay, before I get too stressed out and talk myself out of making this dress, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. We are growing. We are still a small community, but it grows every day, and I am so grateful to you guys. I do want to quickly mention that watching my videos really does help, and I've really loved doing this, and I don't want to ask for anything because y'all don't owe me anything, but I would really love if you could watch this video all the way through, or another video if you like, or if you find it unwatchable, please let me know down below, because I want to be making the best type of content. I want to be making better content all the time. I'm working really hard on making this channel a really safe, fun, happy place to be, and I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, showing you guys my life, going through DIY projects together. This sewing adventure has been so amazing, and I don't want it to end, so please if you could give this video a like, a little subscribe, watch it to the end, help me with the watch time a little bit. I would be so grateful. So thank you. I'm gonna stop begging now, but so thank you. Okay, for this project, I'm gonna start with a list because I feel like this project is a little crazier than most, and I want to stay organized. I'm using this. It's old. And a pen. So I think step one is going to be to do a mock-up, right? I'm gonna need a mock-up. This pattern has you putting the zipper in the back, and I hate zippers there. I would love to be able to put the zipper in the side seam, probably on the left side or whatever side I end up putting it on, but I want to put the zipper there instead. Step two is going to be deciding on a final fabric for the dress. That's gonna be easy. I have a few options, but I'm leaning towards two, so we can decide that together. Three is going to be like cutting out and then ironing, cutting out the fabric, we decide for the final piece. And then four will be assembly, putting it together in its final form.
That makes me feel better, having a plan. I don't always like to have a plan, but when I'm super nervous and have anxiety, having a plan helps. Even like a loose plan like this. I feel like I could plan this more, but this is enough plan for me to feel better. Okay, my mock-up is thrown together. She is not perfect, but she was good practice. I'm going to pop her on and we can assess how we feel and what we need to change. Okay, guys, look. Ta-da! Doing a mock-up is so important to me. Like, doing a mock-up is everything. Doing a mock-up is so good. Oh, look, I'm wearing slippers. Oh, peep the house shoes. Mock-up is done. Look at her. You want to see her in her full glory. Okay, there's the back. I can't zip her up. This is the problem. I foresaw that I wouldn't be able to, like, handle if we really try. Oh, okay. That's way too much effort. I actually think this turned out really great considering I have never made this dress before. First, let's go over the things I like about the dress. I'm actually happy with the length. Now, this isn't hemmed, so that means I'm going to have to add like an extra like few centimeters at the bottom unhemmed. Now, this slit is higher than the slit in the pattern. I did bring it up a little because I knew that my thighs would just need it, and I accounted for that. I also like the bust fit here. I really love this neckline on me. I think it's really pretty. It shows off my tattoo. I don't really care about modesty, but I do like to not scare children. And I love the princess seams. Okay, let's go over the things I don't like. The zipper. I told you guys I knew I wasn't gonna like the zipper back there. Just the spot is so inconvenient and it doesn't make sense to me. So we're gonna actually move the zipper into this side here, and in that we're going to change the back neckline to match this front line. So let's go back to the desk and see if we can decide on a fabric. I've narrowed it down to 3. Okay, let's quickly alter the paper pattern so that when we go to cut it out of the final fabric, I have all those changes and stuff amended. What the people upstairs are doing. That was loud. I have my pieces adjusted and I have my game plan going forward. Now is the fun part. We get to pick a fun fabric. We get to pick the fabric. And I've been collecting. You guys know I'm a thrift store junkie. Oh, you're getting a sneak peek. Don't look. Don't. Are you looking? You shouldn't be. I've got 2 fabric options here that I think would look so pretty. The camera is kind of, this green is much closer to the green of my t-shirt in person. The camera's really washing it out. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust the lighting. No, it still looks really gray. It looks so gray. It's not gray, it's definitely green. Does this help? No, that's making it worse. It's getting it better. No. Color theory is crazy. I promise this green isn't gray. It's like a faux velvet. It's really soft. I think it will drape really pretty. I think it would make a pretty version of this dress. And it's got a little bit of give to it, which I think would help. But then enter side left, this beautiful, like super pale sage green fabric that has this like grape and pomegranate motif on it. Look at those. Aren't they just beautiful? I think it is so feminine, but I love both of these. I wish you guys could just decide for me, and I wish you guys could see this color properly. This is like super special. If I really love this dress, I might sneaky make a version in this fabric, but I'm terrified to use this and it not be right. Extra anxiety on top of it. And I promise this isn't an ugly fabric. I promise it's not ugly. I just don't know why for you it's ugly. It's making me so mad that this is so ugly. But it's okay. Ugly is in the eye of the beholder. I think it looks beautiful in front of me on there. It's like a dark olive color, and maybe that's why it's not translating well. Like the camera's just not picking it up very nicely. It's like a gray olivey color on camera. Okay, time to cut our pieces. Did I mention that this was $9.99? When using like leftover fabric or fabric from the fabric store, I really like to make the most out of it and like map out and plan. So I know both of these are now going to be cut on the fold instead of just like 2 halves. So I'm gonna fold this a little weird just to like make sure it's right. And I can get the most use out of this fabric and waste as little as possible while maintaining the like integrity of the pattern.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of space for these mirrored pairs. All my pieces are cut. So we are in a really good place to wrap this up for today. I'm gonna need, this is gonna be a 2-day project. I could get this done in the next few hours, but I had like a full anxiety moment earlier before I even started filming this, and I procrastinated way too much, and I had way too much anxiety. I need to lay down. And before I go in and start making fine detail work, anything like that, I need to like chill out a little bit. So I'm gonna take a brain break, and I will meet you back here tomorrow, rested with less anxiety, so we can pull this together and make her look beautiful. Good morning. It is day 2 of this project, and I'm so glad I took that day. My brain was reeling. The plan helped, so I think I'm gonna do that again. Having a plan helped, but like I had so much anxiety about this fabric. Do I know why? No, I just did. If you guys ever experienced that, especially if you're using like thrifted fabric or fabric that like you can't really go out and replace, if you guys get anxious about using that, please let me know and let me know I'm not alone, because it really threw me yesterday. I can normally like handle it, especially if it's a bedsheet project or something like that. But for some reason, these ones like really got to me, but I feel better. I'm ready to work today, and I've made more list. So my plan of attack here is to first deviate from the pattern instructions. I know that's crazy, don't come for me. But I've made some changes here that mean I kind of need to do that because the zippers changed, the way that I'm attaching the back has changed. So I need to do things in a little bit of a different way. I'm hoping that works out for me. The plan of attack here is to first go through and zigzag stitch all of the edges of all of my pieces. This not only prevents it from unraveling, but also will give me a really clean, seamless look on the inside, and I won't have to worry about French seaming or doing any other type of finishing on these edges. Once they're sewn, I'm confident that they're not gonna unravel. After that, I'm going to start assembling the front of the dress. I've been calling these princess seams. I'm not 100% sure if they are, but that's what I'm calling them. I'm doing this in the exact same way the pattern has me doing it, so I'm not messing with anything here. I'm following the instructions to the letter. Okay, I'm really hoping that this is okay. It's beautiful. Oh, that gives me I'm panicking more now. Oh, it looks good. Oh, look. I did that so good. Oh, what do you think, Ketchup? You want to inspect? What do you think? You want to rate it out of 10 for mommy? I might lose my mind. I'm so excited. Okay, with all the edges finished and the front of the dress assembled, I'm going to install the zipper on the side. I'm using a invisible zipper here. I only have black and white zippers on hand. I bought them, I bought a whole bunch of them when they were on sale at my local fabric store, and I think I paid like 20 cents a zipper, and they only had that sale for the black and white ones. I find that they're really universal. Oh, again, stunning. I'm blowing myself away today. With the zipper in, I can move on to attaching the front and the back of the dress. I have to pause quickly here to sew in the darts on this back piece. This is kind of happening out of order. I think traditionally you would sew your darts first, but because I'm moving around the pattern a lot and I actually didn't have to sew that center seam, I'm doing my darts here. I don't really think it makes a big of a difference. It's all ending up in the same place anyway. I did move the darts down slightly and elongated them a little bit just to fit my body a little bit better. And I'm also going to go in and press the seams here, making sure everything is flat, open, pretty, and good to go, and everything feels secure and beautiful. The last step is to hem the dress. The pattern has us doing a little bit of a different hem with a rolled hem foot. I don't have that, so I'm doing my own version of a rolled hem. This fabric sits really nicely, and I found that it was like thin and slippy enough that I could do a really simple thin hem on it. And I'm accomplishing that by folding it and pressing it about 1 centimeter up all the way around, and then sewing a straight stitch as close as I possibly can to the edge of the fold, and then trimming all the excess fabric on the inside, rolling it again, pressing it, and doing another single stitch. This is the first time I'm attempting a hem like this, and it is a little finicky and tricky, but it is a simpler rolled hem than I've done before, and I think with a few more times doing it, I think with a little more practice and a little more time, I could get really proficient at this style of hem.
This is feeling really successful too. This hem is feeling really successful, and I'm waiting for the ball to drop. I'm very confused on why this is working so well. But it's working really well, and that's freaking me out. Normally when things go this good, that means something bad's gonna happen, and I don't want anything bad to happen. You can't tell the excitement in me because I'm panicking and I'm preparing for the worst. Okay, let's finish it. The disaster happened. I spilled my pins all over the floor. We knew something was gonna go wrong, so I'm glad it was just this. Okay. Oh, deep breath. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up so quick and so fast. I will see you guys in the reveal. Just a sec. Oh my goodness, I am so proud of this project. It really like pushed my skills, and I feel a lot more confident with my machine. But yeah, I remember when I was like, nothing bad's happening. My anxiety was for nothing. Girl, everything that, like after that moment those pins fell, everything went to poop. The dress is okay, but it did like just start to like storm here, which meant I couldn't like follow through with any of my plans for the reveal shots. So I'm sorry they're not like amazing. It's just more like me in my house. But that doesn't mean I love this dress any less, and I don't love you guys any less. It just, I couldn't go outside and do what I planned because it's raining. If you've made it this far in this video, thank you so much. I love having you. This has been such a fun ride this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you liked me, please give it a subscribe. I make new videos every Sunday, sometimes Wednesday when I'm feeling extra ambitious. I will see you guys later. Bye. Oh, Mew Mew. Oh, you want to come say hi? Moo Moo, you want to come say hi? Come here. No, you don't want to come say hi. So she meowed and she meowed and she meowed saying she wanted to come, and then she decided she didn't, so I'm sorry. Oh, no cat for you guys this week. Bye. For real this time. Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to see you today. I'm happy you could join us here on this fine Sunday. It is sundress season. Like, I know we've been talking about spring, we've been talking about it, but I've been on the TikTok. Tell me about how I've been on TikTok and all the girls are wearing the sundresses. I understand the insinuation of a sundress. Okay, but we're just gonna pretend to be wholesome here for like 2.2 seconds and just talk about how beautiful and wonderful and amazing sundresses are. And do you know what is better than a beautiful, amazing, stunning sundress? A beautiful and amazing, stunning sundress that you made yourself that cost you $5. Because we're making a sundress out of a bedsheet, baby. Sundress out of a bedsheet. We're gonna do it. And buckle up, buttercups, because I'm going a little rogue here. If you don't know already, I'm a beginner sewer. My knowledge is very little. I really just go with my gut and my gumption. I use my gumption to guide me through all my DIY projects for the most part, and that includes my sewing projects. So this could turn out really great. It could turn out really bad. I'm manifesting that it turns out really great because I really just want to wear it. Like, I just want to wear a sundress all the time right now. And I have a vision in my mind of what this is gonna be. Like, I want something I can throw on and not care about. So enter stage left,
right? Enter stage left. Or no, this is stage right because it's backwards. Enter stage left. This pattern has seen better days. I do keep all my patterns, but I obviously didn't keep it very well. I obviously didn't really take good care of this one. It just, like most of my patterns, oh, this is where it gets bad. It just kind of got shoved in a folder and then shoved in my cabinet where my sewing stuff goes. Oh, I think this is a part of this. Anyway, I am gonna base this dress that I have in my head off this pattern, but there are a few changes we're gonna make, and when we get to the cutting out part, I'll tell you guys what we're changing, because it's just a few things, but just a few key details that will make it like a totally different dress. And then, drumroll please, enter stage left again, the bed sheet. Look at her. I thrifted this at my local thrift store and I love her. Look at her. She's got all these like blue and like cool tone vibes and these like little flowers, these little white flowers. She's just so pretty and I absolutely love her. I think she's gonna make such a beautiful dress. And how much did I pay? I paid $6.99 at VV Boutique for this sheet, and that's pretty exciting because it's gonna make a beautiful maxi dress and it's gonna cost me $6.99. I love when things are $6.99. Like that's less than $10 is my favorite number. I love a cheapie, but let's focus on getting this cut out and ready, and we'll go over the changes I'm making to the pattern together while I do that. Oh God, this is exciting. If you can't tell, I'm a little antsy because I'm like super excited for this one. I've also had 5 cups of tea. And that's not a hyperbole, I've literally had 5. Oh, I'm ready. I'm caffeinated and I'm ready. Like the first big difference I'm making between this dress and the last one is, well, there's 3 large changes. One of them happens to be that I'm lining both the front and the back. The original garment was not lined. It was just a single layer with facing, and I wished it was lined. So that's what we're gonna do. So to do that, all I'm doing is cutting out double. That means I'm cutting out 4 pieces of each of them. To get 4 of each piece, I'm gonna first cut the 2 like you normally would, and then I'm just gonna do that again. Like I'm really just cutting double, nothing revolutionary. And I could be lining this with a different fabric, but I have this bed sheet. I might as well use as much of it as I want, or as I can, I guess I should say. And folding it this way instead of on like the true center also means I have more wiggle room to play with for cutting out the skirt later. Remember to be like super careful with your rotary cutters. They're very dangerous. Do not, I repeat, do not cut yourself with one. They're really nasty. I actually don't remember if this pattern has the seam allowance worked into it. I could go watch that old video of mine, but we're gonna live a little recklessly today because I'm really excited. I've made the right sides of my fabric face together. With these sheets, sometimes it's hard to tell what is the right side and the wrong side. I just kind of pick the nicer of the 2 sides and go with that.
Can't believe I'm here again. I gave it my all, I gave you my heart, but you wouldn't. Now I have to tell my friends, you're not who I thought, I'm not who you want once again. One day you're here, saying what I wanna hear, the next you disappear.
All right, all my pieces are cut out and I'm ready to start sewing. My brain, tell me if I'm wrong, says I'm gonna need a zipper for this in the back. The dress that I made, like the one that I used this pattern for originally, had a zipper in the back. I think that's fine. I'm gonna need a zipper to be able to get in and out of it. I just have this little one. She's just a basic little invisible zipper. But I think I should start. Where am I putting the zipper? If I'm putting the zipper in the back, should I put it in the side? I much prefer a zipper in the side. Oh, now I have to think, because that makes a difference for how I'm putting together the front. Okay, this is the front piece. Can you see me thinking really hard? Right sides together.
Oh, you're gonna lay? Okay. You want pets? This is why I can't get anything done. No, you want a pet? Okay. Mom can't get anything done. You needed a belly rub? Oh, thank you. Did you just need a little... Oh, did you just need a belly rub? Oh, okay. Okay, we can do a belly rub. Belly rub break. Good, belly rub. Okay, all done. Belly rub break is over. Okay, little loaf? Go on.
First thing I'm gonna do, put in my gathering stitches. I'm going to gather the lining and I'm gonna gather the outside of my front pieces because there's a gathering line on the boob section. There's a gather there, so I'm gonna throw in my gathering stitches quickly. Once those are in, we can attach them. We can attach them together. Yes. Gathering stitches, and then I'm going to sew them together. On one of the seams, I'm going to leave the side open so that I can use that side to put my zipper in when I attach the front and back. So I'm looking at these. I'm going to French seam the tops. I did a whole video on French seams, walking you guys through it, like super simply, like in the way that made the most sense to me. I really struggled with French seams in the beginning, so I made like a whole in-depth tutorial on French seams, going through the whole thing. I'm gonna whiz through it here, but basically, Cliff Notes version, we're gonna stitch right sides together instead of wrong sides together, flip that, do another seam, and then press and flip that open, and then that way you have like a nice little sandwich encased edge so that all the edges and stuff are tucked away and won't fray and fall apart. It's a great alternative if you don't have a serger or you don't want to do like a bunch of zigzag stitches. I feel like French seams are going to be the easiest way to class up and elevate this bed sheet to make it look like it's made out of a higher quality material or made by a higher quality place and not like an at-home dress. I think French seams are one of the easiest ways you can really elevate something to make it look less homemade. This is feeling okay. This doesn't feel really wrong. It feels a little wrong. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't feel totally wrong. Like I feel like I'm on a right track for what I want. I'm trying to use all of my like knowledge in my brain, but like to be honest with you, I'm just so excited about this dress that who knows if I'm actually thinking about anything. And Moo has decided that she's gonna supervise this for the. You're gonna go to a supervisor. You got stuff on your face, Moo. Guys, I feel like this is working. Like I really feel like this might be working. Not a doctor, nor am I a seamstress, but for some reason, this feels like it's really working, and that's freaking me out.
Something about you isn't right. I swear you can make me lose my mind. Lying here awake at night. If this is love, then I don't want it. Why you gotta be so complicated? I'm sick and tired of contemplating. I don't wanna be here waiting. If this is love, then I don't want it. I can't be the one you keep running to whenever.
So I'm doing these French seams. I'm really happy with my idea, and I'm realizing that this is probably wrong. I'm just thinking about processes in my head, and you guys are probably yelling at me in the comments. I should have assembled the lining and then assembled the outside, like the front, and then attached them, and then did this, because now I have like seams to make and stuff, but that's okay. My plan here is to leave this as it is now, and I'm gonna start and like leave these seams. They look nice and like double seamed, and that's gonna be okay because I'm not taking this apart. I'm determined to finish this today. I have yet to make a garment in a day, like an actual dress or like something more than like a tank top in a day, and I'm really determined to make this in a day, and it's fine. So I'm not gonna undo anything I did. I'm just gonna keep going, and that's okay because it's my clothes and not yours, so it will be okay. I did not do this right. This is just the way that it's gonna be done, and that's that.
What I've figured out is that I am just French seaming essentially the whole thing in bits, but I reverse French seamed some things. To be honest with you, you guys didn't sign up for a tutorial. This is not a tutorial, and if I'm doing a tutorial, you guys know I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. I'm just telling you what I did. I've attached the back panels together. So there's like this little, where the French seam is, they're now attached. And then I've put the front piece on like this. Can you see it? And put the front piece on like that. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side with the same French seam style so that everything's attached. And then I can sew the sides together in that same way. I can use the flap of the French seam to tuck in and sew them together so that everything is nice on the outside, and on the inside it's double French seam, so everything's cased in and super tidy and super nice. I didn't plan for this to happen this way, but it is happening this way, and I'm not upset about that. The only thing I think that isn't quite right is the shoulder seam. I feel like if I had attached the lining properly, it wouldn't be like the French seam wouldn't sit like this. It would all be on the inside, like flipped inside out, and that's the part I'm missing. But I'm just gonna press that towards the back, and I think it will be fine. Now I'm like really confused though. I think I messed this up really bad. It's so close. It's so close. Okay, I can do this. And I'm gonna sew the back skirt together. Because originally this pattern had the zipper back there, the skirt is in two. I could have done it on the fold, but I wasn't thinking then. I am gonna French seam the back skirt. I'm really just biting off all I can chew. I feel like I might be back on track. My pattern matching was pretty good. The French seams kind of made it a little wonky and a little off, but it's pretty close. Like, look at that one. Look at that one. Oh my goodness, I got pretty close. That's pretty good. I'm proud of myself there. Okay, back seam is Frenched. It looks beautiful. It's great. I'm really happy with that. I think I start attaching. I feel like attaching is the next step, right? Like I start to put it all together. I have to put the zipper in. Should I put the zipper in now? No, I think I'm gonna finish the front of the dress with the front panel with the little swoopy swoop. I think I'm supposed to gather. Yeah. I'm gonna finish the front now. I'm gonna attach the front top to the front bottom of the dress, the length of the dress. I'm gonna French seam it too. I'm just French seaming everything. And this is when I'm gonna gather the little bodice pieces too. I'm gonna gather the lining piece and the outside piece. I think that makes the most sense. Okay, things are coming together now. Sometimes all I have to do is persevere and things work out. Maybe it's this Taurus moon. I saw some girl on TikTok say that this Taurus new moon, something about Taurus, the universe is working out for me, and you know what? Maybe she is. Maybe the universe really is looking out for me on this one. Don't tell me it's wrong or I'll cry. Okay. You guys, I think it's happening. I'm just gonna throw in this zipper, and I did it. I just have to install the zipper and it's done. I'm so excited to put this on. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be everything. I'm gonna throw this zipper in and see you guys in the reveal. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Sunlight fades away and you fall into my arms. This life is not the same when we're apart. If you follow me tonight, I'll walk with you for life, and we can go anywhere you wanna go.
Friends, this one turned out so good. I'm so proud of it. This style of project I really love because it's a challenge for me. I can kind of concoct something in my brain, design something loosely based on inspo or just something in particular that I want, and then to create it and kind of make it up as I go is so much fun for me. It is my favorite part of doing like any sort of DIY, from making my own clothes to like making like actual like physical things or decorating. Like it kind of encompasses all my favorite stuff. And we get to go to the coffee shop on a Sunday to go film the shots. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was so fun for me to make. Those shots that we did for the reveal were just like so fun and it was so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. I will see you next Sunday. Bye. Or welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I have had a recent influx of new subscribers. So hi to you new kids. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I hope you are enjoying the videos, the content. I am Madison. That back there was 7 on this channel. We do all things DIY, thrift, flip, adventures. Oh, he's scratching. Mommy's trying to work here. Mommy's trying to pay the bills. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you. Whether you've been subscribed for the last year or you are new to the channel, I'm so happy to have you. I'm so excited for us to hang out together on this lovely Sunday. I need to talk to you guys about this. Her, you wanna see it? Well, she is a pattern for a bustier top. Today we are working with this pattern here. I'm gonna pop it on the screen. It is a Fabrico Patterns over on Etsy pattern. I have perused her patterns before. I even think I have a couple like saved in my stash. I really like her style and I really liked this pattern because it was like a bustier top with a zipper. I have never done like the grommets and lace. It is on my list to learn, but I knew for this particular top I had in mind, I wanted to keep it with a zipper closure. I love a zipper and I'm very excited to use this pattern. This pattern is a little bit more intimidating than other patterns I've done in the past. It is more intricate and has details in it that take a little bit more finesse and that are a little bit more intermediate than I'm used to. So that is exciting and terrifying all at the same time. It definitely is a step up in skill level, but I'm excited to see what I'm able to do. I am just a girl with access to a Canadian Tire where I bought a sewing machine. That's all. I have a credit card, which means I got this. And what like draws me to the idea of making clothes is I can make something exactly right, exactly the way I have it pictured in my head. So it's exactly what I want. And then once I have exactly what I want, I'm happy. Can you tell there's a Taurus in there? Can you tell? Because I can tell. I can tell. Before I can break out my sewing machine and get started, our first step is to get all of our pieces cutted out in both our main and lining fabric. By main fabric, I mean the fabric that is going to be on the outside of the garment that the world will see while I'm wearing it. I am using this amazing thrift store find. I paid up a little bit for this fabric, but I don't mind at all. The color, this like greeny, tealy, sage green is perfect for spring. I love the grapes and pomegranate motif and the cherries. It lends itself to be springtime and playful, but also a little sexy, which I love. So I'm laying that fabric out and kind of picking and choosing where I want the fabric to line up. I really love the pattern on this fabric, so I'm paying a lot of attention to where I'm cutting these pieces out. I like to think of this step as putting my puzzle pieces together and what part of the pattern do I really want to showcase? Where do I want things to line up? I like the look of planned patterns, and when the patterns match up in the right way on the seams, I really feel like that does add that polishing step to a garment that takes it from homemade, crafty to higher end, to designer, to planned, and makes it so that you have a higher quality garment in the end. For the lining of this project, I'm using a fabric you guys have seen before on this channel. I've made a lampshade out of this. We made straps for a tote bag out of this fabric, and I've got so much use out of this satin. I think the pink really complements the green without being matchy, and will go really beautifully on the inside of the top. For this top in particular, because I'm working on these specific skills and I really am going for perfection and I'm doing the most, I'm going to take the step to iron all of my pattern pieces separately first before I start to assemble. This gets everything nice and I can go over in the patterns, make sure I have all of my demarcations lines set to line everything up, make sure that everything is the right shape. I can go against the pattern and make sure that I'm cutting away
away anything extra that needs to be done, and everything is the right shape and all of my lines match up on my pattern so that I really do end up with the cleanest finish. I don't always do this step, but I'm gonna take the time to do it here because I just feel like something this detailed with this many pieces really requires it for it to come together in the end and look really seamless and put together. All my pieces are looking really beautiful. Everything is as good as it can get. Fingers crossed that it's working out. I'm going to do this in the simplest way I know how, reading through the pattern instructions and just using everything I know, using all the information in my brain. My plan of attack here is to put together the lining bodice and then the lining, and then put together the like main fabric, the outer fabric flat, because the zipper is gonna go in the back center seam. I feel like I want a top just made out of this. I love this satin. I might do that. I might have enough. I might have just enough to make a little top. This is gonna be so cute. So this is gonna be actually the inside. So it's gonna on my body sit like this, but this will be the inside. Do you see the vision? Do you see the vision? I'm seeing the vision. Ooh, this is gonna be so pretty. So I'm gonna attach everything, leaving the tops of the straps open because we're gonna have to turn those inside out and attach them together. Well, I'll talk you guys through that when I get there and we'll figure out what to do. I have an idea on how to like make sure they're like nice and flat and I don't have like a seam on the inside. Now, because I'm lining this piece, I'm not going to zigzag all the edges and then sew everything together. My plan of attack is to attach all the pieces and then go back on all of the seams and just zigzag the two where they meet together. Everything is going to be neatly tucked within the bodice, so you're not going to see any of the seams or any of the zigzag stitches, and I don't have to worry about it being like perfect on every edge. And putting them together like that will help me iron them flatter so everything is nice and crisp and clean on the outside and on the inside.
Do you ever get one of them little threads in your nose? Oh, that was rough. Oh, that sent me.
My lining is all together and is looking beautiful. This needs to be pressed still, but I'm going to do the front first so I can press everything at the same time and only have to get on the iron like once. Oh, that's pretty good. This one's pretty good too. I missed out on some of the grapes there, but I think like that on the side, I think is gonna look nice. I'm proud of these front ones too. This flows really beautifully over here. Like it kind of looks like it's supposed to, like once it's ironed. And I think this is gonna be pretty too. I really wanted to make sure I got these cherries. I really love the cherries. But like pomegranate situation here. Ooh! It's coming together. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
Red ones and blue skies. What did we know? We were so very young. The heart and the past changes so fast, like a cup nearly on. Red ones and blue skies. What did we know? We were so very young.
This is looking kind of small. It's looking a little small. Oh no. This is where it all goes wrong. I'm worried about this here. Did I measure? No. Panic. It's okay. I should have. Let's not worry what I should have done. Let's worry about what I can do. What can I do? I could put grommets in and lace it, and that would be like, I could adjust the fit, but I don't have the stuff to do that. I'd have to go to the store, and I don't really want to. I want to get this done. And put laces in and leave it, or I could add another panel.
That's like my two choices, I feel. And I am not, yeah, I just need another 5 centimeters. I'm not like plus size by any means, but I'm not teeny tiny either. Like I lift, now work out. And I have tummy trouble, so I'm constantly bloated. So yeah, if I want it to look right, I've got to add another 5 centimeters or do the little corset. I think the corset would look really pretty, but I just want to use what I have. Here's how I'm gonna make sure this fits me. I'm gonna cut out a 5 centimeter panel in both my main fabric and my lining and split that in half and attach it to either end. And that's where there will be like an extra panel back there, and that's where we'll attach the zipper and stuff, and just pretend like it was supposed to be that way the whole time. Okay, I think crisis is averted. Time to do all my zigzag stitches. Scheduled, like following the pattern programming. We've made it to the part where we get to like put the two sides together. So what I'm doing here is taking the right side. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. I'm not over how pretty this is going to be. I'm taking my right sides together and I'm just going to pop a pin in the neckline just to keep everything nice and nice in all the corners. Line my seams up. Oh, hi, Ketchup. Oh, are you saying hello to the camera? Oh, wow. Oh, yes, you have a very beautiful coat pattern. Yes. She would like compliments in the comments, she says. Lining up beautifully. All my notches make sense. All my pieces make sense here. I think we've dodged a bullet, I hope, in the fit area. I'm pin happy. I think you could probably get away with doing less pins than I do. But I love a pin. I feel like a pin makes me feel like I know what's going on even when I don't. So I'm going to sew this first. The like front, the front neckline. I'm gonna sew that first, but I'm gonna leave the tops of the straps open and I'm just going to do a single stitch here. I'm using the same method to put these seams together as I did the individual, like the lining and the front piece. I'm going to do a single stitch and then a zigzag stitch on the other side of that to make sure all my seams are super secure and in place and they're not going to fray on me later on when I wash it or while I'm wearing it. I want to show you guys up close like what I mean by a single stitch and then a zigzag. And this is like the perfect opportunity. I'm using like a darker thread so you can really see it against the lining here. Let me grab you. Hold on. I'll take you guys. So you can see here, I did my single stitch. That's my regular stitch. So that's the stitch that when we turn this inside out, it will just be a stitch like that. But then on the inside of that stitch, I did a zigzag stitch all the way around. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. It's my clothes. And that is going to keep all the seams together. You can see I did the same here, but you can really see it like right here. Oh my god, that stitch is like crazy, so like don't look at it. But this is just the back side of the zigzag. So my single stitch and then my zigzag, and that will keep everything together and keep everything from fraying. Okay, you guys, it is time to turn her inside out. We are almost there. She's looking beautiful on the inside. I'm actually very impressed with my craftsmanship. I am gonna go in and very quickly like trim all the little edges and just make sure everything is super duper clean before I install the zipper, just so that I know it's done and in there. But I want to turn this inside out because I am so excited. Okay, you ready? Okay, first. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, now for the sleeveys. Oh, I can see a part here that isn't quite right. There, I've now done the section I forgot. This is like where all my anxiety lives, is in this part, because if it's wrong, it means I have to undo a lot of stitches. Okay, let's see. Sleeve 1 is out. Okay, things are looking good. I think I did this right. I think I did this right. Oh, I love it when things go right. You know when things go wrong and then they start to go right? Ugh, that's just the best feeling. It's like, yeah, there was a hurdle, but we got over it. We pivoted. We didn't even really pivot. We just like problem solved. That was fun. Taking this opportunity to like double check all my seams and make sure they're perfect. Like I said, I'm a beginner and sometimes I zone out or I'm like watching my little show and I like get distracted or the cats distract me and not all my stitches are perfect. So really taking this time to like go through everything and make sure everything's secure. Let's give her the quickest presses of presses so that we can install the zipper and sew the sleeves together. And then we're done. We're literally done. I'm gonna be able to put her on soon. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You guys, oh my god. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever made. This is stunning and she's not even done. Like, look at her. Do you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Do the straps really quickly and then I can throw in the zipper and put it on. These straps I'm doing in a new way. So I'm gonna talk you through it because honestly, I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna work. Plan is to fold this one in a little like this, like roll it in on itself a little bit. That, so it's like a little tubey tube, kind of like roll it back inside out and then take its friend and insert her. Yes, I can hear all the jokes right now. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, this is so gonna work. And then insert it like that. That looks so clean. I wish you guys, sometimes I wish you guys were here because I get these crazy ideas. That looks nice. And then I'm just gonna top stitch it. I feel like that is very reasonable. Yeah, this looks right. You know what? I'm gonna do a little box here. I'm gonna do a little cheeky box stitch actually. I feel like that makes sense. All right, friends, I'm going to throw the zipper in this bad boy. If you guys want me to go in depth on how I'm doing my invisible zippers and do like an actual step-by-step tutorial, let me know in the comments. I think I figured it out. It's a little bit tedious and like a little bit like of a brain jumble, but I think I've got a pretty good handle on it at this point. So if you want a full walkthrough, let me know down below and I can definitely do a video the same way I did like the French seam video. Let me know and I can totally make that happen for you guys. But I'm gonna throw that zipper in and I will see you in the reveal. I am so excited. All right, you guys, this turned out so beautiful. And if I dare say it's giving Bridgerton vibes, I didn't realize that Bridgerton left such an imprint on me this new season, but it is definitely giving Bridgerton vibes. I think I'm gonna call this my like Bridgerton-esque top because I love it. It is so pretty. I love the cherries and I love the pomegranates and just the whole thing. It made me so happy. I am coming to you, sans makeup and hair. I forgot to film an outro for this video, so I'm coming in right now. This is Editing Madison. Hello. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I appreciate every single one of you for being around. So thank you so much. I'm so eternally grateful for you. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you think there's someone else in your life who might enjoy it, please feel free to share that video around. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to just leave them in the comment section below. You know I'm always in there and I respond to just about every comment and I love a chit-chatting. I love a yapping with you guys. So feel free to get a hold of me there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this Saturday. Oh, and if you like this video and you liked me, like, subscribe, like, come hang out. Like, we're building a little community here. We're putting a community together brick by brick. And I am so happy and so grateful. How many times have I said grateful? Take a shot for every time I said grateful. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye. Oh, and I'm not gonna get you a cat because you got one right there. Look at him. He's just so handsome up there. They love that cat tower. Bye. Get it together, girl. Hey,
it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to see you guys. Happy Sunday, or whatever day you are having to watch this video. I'm spiraling. If you can't tell from the intro, girl, I'm spiraling. And it's that sort of spiraling, it's that sort of panic, it's that sort of anxiety that can only be induced by a complex sewing project that is way out of my skill set, that I have no business doing, but it looks so pretty and I want it. I should not be doing this. Like, this is way too difficult for my brain and for my skill level. But you know what? I have a plan. I've got some fabric. I printed out the pattern. We're gonna be able to do it, and it's gonna be fine. Can you tell me it's gonna be fine? Because I don't know if it's gonna be fine, but I'm gonna believe it's gonna be fine. What am I making? Well, it all started with this. I instantly fell in love. The side bustle, the shape of the top, it looks like it's just constructed exquisitely. Been hunting for a pattern. I have a pretty good idea how this is constructed. Could I figure it out on my own? Probably. Am I gonna trust myself to do that? No. And I came across this stunning pattern. This is the Cosette dress by Alice Patterns, A-L-L-I-S, Alice Patterns. My goodness, is this not beautiful? It looks so modern, but also vintagey. Like, it also looks like I could have worn this in the Regency era. It is not historically correct, but I could see this like in a movie. But it also feels like super casual somehow, but also really, it is my favorite combination of factors. This Cosette dress pattern is so beautiful. I already have all of my pieces cut out and marked. Everything is like ready to go and ready for us to use. Hold on, look at this. It's huge. This is the bustle. I'm kind of like super terrified. It's a lot of dress and a lot of technique, but I think we can totally do it. And by I think we can totally do it is we're gonna do it. And we're gonna give it our all, and we're gonna make it through. Aside from the fact that this pattern and this dress is like way out of my skill set, I'm also gonna do like the craziest thing and make it out of a bed sheet. And not any bed sheet. This is a twin. Oh, I just thought about this. I don't have enough to make it out of here because I need 2 of those T pieces, and I thought I was cutting on the fold because I have to cut them on the, I have to cut it on the fold so it opens up, but I need 2 of those. First hurdle. I don't have enough fabric. Just enough with just 1 of those T pieces. I definitely don't have enough fabric to do 2 and the bustles. Let me go check my fabric stash and see what I have. Try to come up with something. Okay, I think I've come up with a solution, but don't call me crazy. This is not enough. This twin is not enough. It's just not enough. You're not enough for me, baby. But what I do have enough of is this IKEA duvet cover. I've had this duvet cover, I don't know, at least 8 years, probably closer to 10. I think we bought this duvet cover when Jordan and I first started living together. It is a queen duvet cover, twice the amount of fabric as a queen size sheet. It is that beautiful green color that I love. It's got this like really pretty stripe in it. I do enjoy the stripe, and I can cut this up. I've been keeping it just in case, but I don't feel bad cutting this up because we switched to the Swedish method where you have 2 twin duvets instead of 1 queen duvet between the 2 of you. Maybe this is what I've been holding on to it for. Is this the sewing god saying, make this Cosette dress striped? Do I make it striped? Do I do green stripes? Yes. Which way do the stripes go? They go up and down. We do vertical stripes. Yeah, vertical stripes. Okay, we're pivoting. We're pivoting, folks. We are pivoting. I'm so proud of myself. This is the first hurdle we have successfully maneuvered. I can do this. We can do this. We can totally do this. All I can do is take this step by step, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna start with step 1, and step 1 is cutting out all my pieces. The Cosette dress, the straps are actually these really long ties you can see in the image. They're these really long ties. They flow behind you, and I love them, but they are not practical. I can see myself getting them stuck on things. They look really pretty, but I just don't see myself picking this dress up, wearing it out with straps like that. You want a belly rub? Okay. This is why mommy can never get anything done on time.
So as I cut out the top, I'm using measurements from the Bridgerton bodice that we made, the strap measurements for that. I'm using that measurement to cut out the straps so that I know that they're the right length, and we can kind of play with that when we go to fit them as well and make sure I have the right size in the straps. All right, I have all of my pieces cut out, which means it is time to move on to sewing. I'm gonna start with my darts. There are darts going in both the lining and the like outer fabric of the front of the bodice. I'm still practicing my darts. I'm not super confident in them yet, but I'm gonna keep it like super basic. And I'm gonna carefully stitch the dart starting from the wide end and then sew all the way to the marked point. And then to give them a more polished look, I am gonna press them and make sure they lay flat and nice, both on the inside and the outside. The first dart is in. Is anyone else Canadian? Is there any other Canadian girls here that when they hear the word dart in their sewing, they go, "Dirt, pass me a dart"? Do you know what that is if you aren't Canadian, what a dart is? Because that's what I say. I don't smoke anymore, but teenage Madison did dabble. And, yeah. Got a spare dart there, partner? You got a dart there, bud? I was not always like this. I used to be, I say I used to be fun. I say I used to be fun. I'm fun now, but it's a different kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? Now that my darts are in, I'm actually gonna hold off on pressing them for a second. I like to bring out my iron as few times as possible, so I don't like to go back and forth. I only have this station. Fellow small craft room girls, I don't even have a craft room, I'm in the middle of my living room. But if you're limited in space, I try to like do all my ironing at once whenever I can instead of going back and forth so I don't have to reset up and unset up. So before we move to the ironing board for the darts, I'm gonna start putting together my side and back pieces. Because I'm lining everything, I'm gonna do that trick where I zigzag everything at the end. I went over this in my Bridgerton video a little bit, where instead of like finishing all the edges with a zigzag stitch, ironing them, sewing them together, and then being done, when lining something, will put everything together, and before putting the front and back together, zigzag stitch all the seams on the inside of the lining. It's just easier that way. It's less fuss. It's just more, it's just you're doing the same amount of steps, is a more streamlined workflow for me. So I'm gonna do that here. So I'm skipping finishing the edges, if that's what you were wondering what was happening. So this is the back piece with the strap, and then the little side panels are like these little, they're almost rectangles, but they have a little bit of an angle to them. This straight side is what is going on to the straight side. All right, so these are my front darted pieces. I have my lining pieces together. Ooh. So now it is time to do the back center seam. So I'm gonna put my right sides together and give these a sew, lining up my little notches along the way. I could have used pins here, but I didn't really feel like I needed it. It's so short, and this fabric is not super slippy. So I've been pretty grateful to not have to use. We're gonna need pins later though, for sure, 100%. All right, now that I have my front and my back, I'm going to sew them together on the left seam. I don't really think it matters, just depends on like the side you want your zipper, and I'm gonna do the left. I still have not broken out my iron because I'm gonna do this seam, then break out my iron. I know I'm gonna want this dart down, so I'm gonna sew it that way. I've taken out my top, wearing my little sports top, my sports bra top. Cute. I love these two colors together. They're so pretty. But I'm in this so that we can try and just see what the fit of this is going to be like. I like to do it now with the lining so that I know exactly what to do with the front bodice. And I like to do this in a sports bra for two reasons. You can see where it's going on and see how the fit goes, and I can tuck my straps. Because the straps I always leave long. I learned that lesson. You leave your straps longer than you think you're going to need them, and then when you go to do your straps, you do a final fitting. Oh, okay, this is way too big for me. How does the front look? The front looks good. Quite a lot. Look at all this overlap. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I measured too. This is why doing a fitting is always kind of necessary. Let me see how much I have to take out. This is like tricky. Okay, that's closer, but there's more. I can take it in. Yes, okay, I got it. I'm pretty much having to half this back panel. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it back there, but I'm pretty much having it. I'll show you guys what I mean. So this panel here is the center of the back. The back and the front are attached right here on the left seam, and this is the center two panels. I really needed it to be in half for it to fit me correctly. I don't know if I did measure right or if it's just this pattern, or sometimes women's sizing is really off and going from US to Canada. Sometimes it's weird. So I originally made the size 4 top. I feel like I probably could have gotten away with the size 2. I feel like I'm a 4, so that's what I did. And when I measured, the measurements were right, but it's okay. It's okay, we're moving on. So I pinned it here, and you can see that that's where it makes that seam. So all I'm gonna do is put in a straight stitch right here, and then cut this off. And it will be as if it was always supposed to be that way on the inside. I'm stressing out. This is now the second hurdle, okay? We're getting there though. We're getting there. I'm gonna get the front bodice piece into the same stage as we are with the lining before I break out the iron. I just keep putting off the iron. Do you guys do that? Do you guys procrastinate ironing? I like it once I'm doing it, but getting me to do it is really difficult. It's going okay and I'm panicking. The amount of tea I've drank probably isn't helping.
You feel like summer days to me, warm, tender, sunny rays. I hope that we are meant to be. You say nothing at all when you need, yet
I'm gonna press everything now and get everything nice and nice. I have essentially like my lining and my bodice together. The bodice and then the lining, and press everything, get it nice and nice.
they all live here within this romance. I get the chance to stop the run and be the lucky one. Odd thoughts and some dusty dreams, and we sing.
Hi. Editing Madison here. A bunch of my footage is corrupt. Was it the government? I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. It's rough. I don't know. But I don't want to leave you guys without a video because a lot of this footage is still good. So up to this point, you're good. I'm good. It's like everything next. But thankfully, everything we're doing next, we've kind of covered before. It's all the finishing stuff. So I do have a little bit of footage left. It's spotty, but I do have a few clips that I'm gonna put in. You'll start seeing now of me putting in one of the bustles. I'm doing the gathering stitches on the panel for the bustle, and I've been calling it a bustle. I don't really know if it is one, but that's what I've been referring to it as like the gathered panel in the center of the skirt. I'm putting in 2 gathering stitches, really cranking down the tension and the width on my sewing machine, pulling those until they are roughly the size of the space I need them to cover, and pinning them and adjusting them to the right size, and then sewing that on with a straight stitch, and then I go back over that edge with a zigzag to seal everything in. And then after that, I flip it and I sew right sides together so that I get all of the seams locked in, kind of in that rectangular U shape almost, and that creates the side panel and closes the gap from the T from the front center and the back center fabric. And then after that, all I did was attach
the bodice and the skirt and insert the zipper. And we've done that before. If you want to see more in depth on the bodice part, I lost some footage there too. If you want to see a more in depth of making this style of bodice, I made a top a couple weeks ago that is very similar, and essentially it's the same thing, except instead of finishing the bottom edge, I'm just attaching it to a dress. And the zipper install, I lost the footage of that as well, but that means I am going to answer the prayers of a couple of you in the comments. I will be making my invisible zipper 101 video for next week. This just like nail and coffined it for me. I'll do like a super in-depth video for you guys, a la the French seam video that I did, so that we can like talk about it and really like go into it and make it make sense for us. And yeah. Oh, and then I hemmed it. I threw a nice little hem on it, nothing crazy. I think I did like a half-inch rolled hem. I did nothing crazy, and you didn't really miss much in the footage other than me being hilarious, because I'm always funny. But yeah, I'm a little bummed, honestly. If you can't tell, I'm a little bummed. This is the first time I've ever lost footage, and I hope it never happens again, but I do know that is like, it's bound to happen at some point. So I hope this video is enough. I hope you guys are satisfied with it. Don't click off yet, because I do have the reveal footage for you. I went and I reshot it. I went in, I reshot the reveal footage so that you guys could have that. I'm gonna let that roll now so that you guys can enjoy it.
'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby.
All right, outro is gone too, so editing Madison is what you get this time. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm sorry for the lost footage. It is what it is, but I'm trying to make it work over here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Please look forward to the zipper video next week. You guys are my favorites. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you liked me, please consider subscribing. I make DIY content currently. I have a sewing hyperfixation, so we're going with that, but I also do renter-friendly makeovers, and then I also do like thrift flip DIY projects here on this channel. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. And I have not missed a Sunday since I started uploading, and this was not going to be the first one, so you know you're going to get a video every week from your girl. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you next week. Goodbye. Oh, you're not going to get a cat of the week this week. Everyone is sleeping and I don't want to ruin their day. But I am going to show you a video right here. This is a cat that I came across this is actually from the lost footage. This was, Jordan took these videos on my phone. We actually had a bunch of footage of me finding this cat and this cat running over to me and us falling in love, and our whole love story was captured. But we met him at the park. His name was Lenny. He was so sweet and so cute. He looked really well cared for. But we hung out with him for a little bit at the park, so I made a new best friend, and I love meeting a cat out in the wild. Okay, I will see you guys next week. Bye. Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to see you guys. I have a highly requested video this week, and we are talking all about invisible zippers and how I install them. We are going over all my tips and tricks and little things I do to make sure I get no puckering, everything lines up, and I get it right the first time, every time. So if that is something you are interested in, please stay tuned for that. Before we jump super into it, it, I just want to say a very quick thank you to you guys. You guys have been amazing and so supportive. I'm so happy that I can make the videos you guys are looking for and that we can interact in this sort of way. It brings me so much joy to be able to create content that you guys are enjoying. This thing we've got going on is really just amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's jump into the video. Here is everything I'm going to be using. First things first, I just have a pair of scissors. This is just to nip the thread and stuff. Any good pair of scissors will work. I just like these small ones because they get a good point, and that really helps you like get in there into the angles if you need to. I'm also using a invisible zipper foot. You can see in there it has like little ridges for the teeth of the zipper to go into. You can do an invisible zipper with a regular zipper foot. It just like the invisible zipper makes it totally foolproof and you don't really even have to like think about it. It's very, very simple and very easy. So I recommend using this foot. But if you have a regular zipper foot, it is just as easy. It just is a little bit more finicky. You just have to pay more attention to your stitches. I'm also just going to be using some straight pins. They're basic. A pin is a pin. I like these ones that don't have the tops. I just prefer them. I find they're more durable. They don't bend. All of my ones that like have tops end up doing this, and I hate that. So I like these straight pins, and I keep them in this little tin. The zipper I'm using today, this is the tag for it. I got it at my local fabric store. It's a closed end invisible ultra lightweight, and it's a 20 centimeter. So here she is in all of her glory. So this is the back side and this is the front. These are my favorite zippers. I just love these poles a lot better. And she has her stopper down here. And this staple came in it already. I leave this staple in. I feel like you could totally take it out. I always just leave it in. I just feel like it's the best way to keep everything nice and neat and use it as like a stopper at the end. Keeps everything together. But that's my zipper. I have everything labeled already, so don't worry about that. We'll go over that in a second. But this is the zipper we're going to be using today. And then I just have some scrap fabric here that I've cut out, and I've labeled it. So the side with the lines is going to be the wrong side of the fabric for this experiment, and the plain side will be the right side, because that is an important factor. That is an important factor when working with an invisible zipper or zippers in general. You want to make sure you're working on the right or wrong side of the fabric, depending on where you want the zipper to end up. So I have everything prepared and labeled for us to follow here. So let's start with the zipper. On the front of my zipper, and it's the front because it has the pull. The pull is on this side, so I'm calling this the front of my zipper. I have labeled this side with a 1 and this side with a 2, so we can keep track of them so that you guys can really see where these end up and how they relate to our pieces of fabric. So they are one zipper, they zip together, but I just have one side labeled 1 and the other side of the zipper labeled 2. Those are going to attach to side A, piece A of our fabric, which is this piece here, and I have that labeled on the right side. Wrong side is over here. This is the right side of the fabric. I have it labeled A here, and then I have this one labeled with a B. So we've got piece A and piece B, side 1 and side 2. As you can imagine, 1 and A go together and B and 2 go together. So imagine this is the side seam or a back seam or whatever seam you're putting into the zipper of your project. This can be a piece of fabric that's already attached, whatever opening you have. I'm just using these like as an easy example, but whatever seam you're putting in your zipper in is this A and this B seam. So the first thing we need to do is swap out our foot, and that's super simple. On this machine, I just push out the lever on the back, pop out the old foot, and slip on the new one. Then we can move on to pinning the first sides together here. All right, A, B, 1 and 2. I'm gonna unzip my zipper, loop, and I'm gonna start with side A and piece 1, and put her face down on top of piece A. Now, where you place this on the seam can be different in your pattern. Follow the instructions. But if you are just doing a simple overstitch at the top seam, or if you're sandwiching it, this is going to be a little bit different. But for the sake of this, I'm just lining it up at the top as you would if you were just going to do a simple top seam here. And I'm going to pop a pin in it above the little stopper. You can see this little stopper here, this little plastic piece.
I'm putting in my pin above it because that's where the teeth of the zipper start. This just makes it really easy to line up. I'm gonna line these up and pop my pin in. So this is nice and flat at the top there. Now, pulling everything taut. This is like, I find the best way to do it is I kind of grab it, the fabric in between these two fingers here, and then between my thumb and front finger, I pull the fabric tight and the zipper tight along the straight edge. And I like to do it, I don't know, every 10 centimeters I like to pop a pin, or every couple of inches. I like doing it this way because it makes it like super secure, but if you're super confident, go for it. I just like having the extra security. And again, down a couple centimeters or 10 centimeters, pulling it really tight until I get to the end here. So this is the actual like zipper thing part, and I will pull it taut, make it straight, and put a pin right before that zipper starts, like the actual hardware of the zipper, and I pop a pin there because that's where I'm gonna stop. I've got all my pins in. I have 4, it's a short zipper. And again, these pins are kind of unnecessary, but I've got these lined up, and I've got my 1 on top of my piece A here. All right, now that I have everything lined up, everything's ready to go, I'm gonna pop the zipper and the piece of fabric in to the zipper foot, and I'm starting at the little plastic piece is where I'm going to start stitching. So I put it into the first groove here. You can see that there's like 2 grooves here, one right here and one back here for each side of the zipper. So I'm making sure this zipper tooth stays in this first track. So it's like gonna follow on its thing. So it's gonna stay aligned here, and pop my zipper foot down and in place. You can really see now, this is it's tucked away in his little home. I pop in my first stitch, and the real tip here is to keep this pretty tight and taut. I like to do a light tug on it while I'm sewing. That keeps it straight and aligned. The pins help, but we're gonna take them out as we go. So this first one's ready to come out. That first pin is out, and we have all of our teeth lined up. I'm just gonna stitch. Do a couple stitches, reverse to tack it in. And I used a darker thread so that you guys could see it against here. I'm getting right up against these teeth with this zipper foot, keeping this notch of the invisible zipper foot and the teeth of my zipper aligned so that the thread goes right next to it, giving it a good tug. As I get to the pins, I pull them out. They're really there for safety, and I like to be extra sure. And you can give your fabric a little tug if you know it's straight. Just keep everything super taut. Okay, we're at the tricky part here. I'm gonna do a couple more stitches, and I'm gonna manually do that without my presser foot, just turning it so I get it exact. Pop this pin out, and I'm gonna pull this as straight as I can and try to get one more stitch in there. Maybe one more. Yeah. So it's like really up against there now. And pop it in reverse. Reverse a couple of stitches. We have one side of the invisible zipper stitched in. You can see the stitch on the wrong side of the fabric. I did it as the darkest thread I had so you guys could see it against the white. And then the stitch in here. And I always test it because sometimes you just have to make sure it works. Zip it up. There we go. Your first side is in. We're gonna press it so it sits nicely. But that is the first side of your invisible zipper is done. This is like 45% complete. All we're gonna do is repeat it on the next side. We're gonna open her up. And I think this is where I used to get the most confused is this next step and how to attach it to the other section. So I have piece B inside 2. We want to make sure we're doing the same thing we did on this. So the zipper here is now flat against the right side of the fabric. I'm gonna twist this open so that it's flat. Now the back of the zipper and the front are there. We're gonna twist it one more time so that this flat piece of the top of the 2 covers up our B, and I'm lining it up in the same spot and popping a pin in it the exact same way we did the other. And the teeth should always be facing out from the fabric when doing an invisible zipper.
That's just if you are more inclined to remember that instead of putting fronts together. If you want to think about as the teeth are facing out or the teeth are always open, you can think of it that way too. This one's less for security than it is like a visual reminder that this is where I'm going to start manually stitching. If you're using a regular zipper foot, this is now when you would switch the sides of the foot. You would take this off, move it to the other side, and move your needle over. Like your needle will have another setting. Mine looks like this, where it moves the needle to the side. Watch my needle. Yeah. But if you're using an invisible zipper foot, you don't need to do that. Now, on the first side, we used the outside groove. Now we're using the inside groove here. Same thing. Lining my piece and my zipper up so that the teeth of my zipper are now in this inside notch when I put it down. Sits right in there. The first time it was on this side and now it's on this side. I do my first one manually to make sure it's in the right spot. And then you can go. Alright, I'm at that pesky spot again. Straighten out my fabric. Make sure everything is nice and nice. Pull my pin out. And just do a couple of manual stitches until it's super tight. Alright, she's out of the sewing machine and this is what it looks like now. My zipper closed. Look at it. She's nice and invisible in there. Giving this a press will make it nice and really, really, really flat. And these edges get sewn over when you do your finishings on your piece. So that's what takes care of this up here. Those will get nice and nice. And iron gets all this flat. And we just have this like open tail down here. What I like to do now is pop this up and away. You can pin it. I just hold it. I just hold it up and press with these two fingers like this seam together tightly against, you can see where my thumb and my nail sits, right against that seam. And that is where we're gonna sew. You can feel it in there. That is where we're gonna continue the stitch. We're essentially wanting to continue this stitch all the way down to close out the seam. And to do that, I'm gonna swap out my foot again for a regular straight stitch foot. I have done this next step with a zipper foot, not an invisible zipper foot, but a regular zipper foot. You can make that work, but it's a little too precarious for me. And I find that I made more mistakes, and using a straight foot is just as easy. It just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit more patience. Okay, I've got my fabric in my zipper. This is the seam we're wanting to continue. Gonna fold everything up, tuck it under my machine. I'm gonna line this up as good as I can in here. You really gotta shove it in there a wee bit. Shoving this in so that this stitch right here lines up with my needle, making sure I'm pulling the zipper out of the way. I even sometimes move my needle down, put tension on it, and that helps me line it up. I do these first, just like I do the others, hand stitching, because these are the ones that really matter. These ones that you're going back a little bit on that original seam, these are the ones that are gonna protect your garment and keep everything tucked away and beautiful. And then go back forward and finish the seam. So here you can see where I went over the back stitch, finished the seam, and then back stitched at the end. All right, here she is in all of her glory. She is stunning and beautiful, and I'm getting no like weird, lumpy, puckering, no like bubble at the bottom. Everything is nice and flat. She needs to be ironed, but she is stunning, beautiful, and flat. The zipper works, and it was like really easy. It took me 3 minutes, 2 minutes to install. If there is anything I can suggest to you guys, it is practice, practice, practice. Cut out little sheets like this and undo and redo it. Do it without back tacking. That's how I learned when I did it at the beginning. I did it without
like securing the stitch in so that it was really easy to take out the stitches and redo it a million times. Just take some scrap fabric, write 1 and 2 and A and B, or 1 and 1, whatever you need to do to make it make sense. Color match it if you need to. Whatever makes the most sense for your brain. This is just what makes the most sense for my brain, for my little ADHD brain in there. That is what worked the best for me. And I really think practicing and getting your zippers right makes all the difference in the end of a garment or a bag or whatever you're making. Having a well installed zipper makes all the difference in making it look elevated and chic and slick and not crafty. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. I love seeing you. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just like overwhelmed by your guys' love and support. This place has just become like such a fun and engaging and really like beautiful community that is growing and growing every day. I am so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your homes and on your screens. And that just like means the absolute like world to me. I don't know how to like process it sometimes. And we are a small community, but we are growing every day, and I am so freaking grateful for you. Okay, let me go grab you a cat. Oh, that's mommy's curtain. Let go. Thank you. I have a choir to catch up. All right, baby girl, you want to say goodbye? See you next week. Bye. You want to show them your paws? You want to show them your little mittens? Oh, good girl. Good mittens. Good job. Good show and tell. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye. My sewing machine is back. Tell a friend. Hey, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? You guys, I'm back inside. It is hot. I don't know where you guys live, but I live in BC, and we are having a heat wave, and it is hot. So being outside was not really what I wanted, but I did also do a poll on my community page, and y'all picked a dress. Y'all wanted me to sew this week, so your wish is my command. We are sewing. I wanted to take a quick moment before we hop straight into this video to say hi, my name is Mads. This is my YouTube channel. We cover all things DIY, from cutting and coloring my own hair to flipping furniture to sewing my own clothes like this video today. I dive into all different realms of DIY, so if that is something you are interested in, this is officially me bullying you into subscribing. So get on there, click subscribe, follow along. I make new videos every Sunday. This is so fun, and it is such a great community. Everyone in the comments is so nice. Everyone out there, y'all are my people. Thank you so much. Anyway, a few weeks ago, I did a thrift haul where I thrifted this rose patterned bed sheet from the thrift store. It was a great price. It was $4.99. I really loved it, and I am so excited to make a summertime wrap dress so that I have something to wear in this damn heat wave. I got this pattern off of Etsy. I got it on sale, so the pattern was like $4.99 I think when I purchased it. I'm using almost exactly this pattern. I will not be making the belt, I know, shocker, and I will not be putting in the belt loops, but other than that, I'm following very true to this pattern. I'm gonna lose the belt, and my cat is gonna eat it, and it's just gonna be more hassle than it's worth, so we will not be making the belt for this dress. We will just be making a really pretty wrap dress. I've been getting questions about how I'm getting these patterns and how I'm putting them together, so I wanted to show you guys very quickly, in depth, how I make that happen. The first step when you get a pattern from Etsy or you're buying from a seller is to print it out. This is just on regular printer paper. This one in particular has the little arrows as the boundary borders, so we're going to follow those as we cut everything out. I like to have a ruler, some tape, an X-Acto knife, and a pen on hand just to make things easier along the way. Now, most of the time when you get a pattern, there's going to come with these dotted lines that are color coded, and sometimes they're even different dotted line patterns. And that's going to be your sizing. So refer to the sizing chart and see what color you need to, or what pattern you need to cut out, and just follow along the edges there. This doesn't need to be 100% perfect in my experience. Get it as good as you can. I find the curves can be kind of hard, and you can always go back in and perfect them later and err on the side of not cutting too much off. I also like to line up the edges of my ruler with my grid mat. I know that not everyone has a grid mat, but it does add like this extra layer of straightness to my lines and gives me that like perfect crisp cut. You can see here I did mess up the curve. I started following the pink line instead of the orange line, so I went back in and I corrected that. Super simple to do. Along the way, you're also going to see that I cut out some of the edges close to the triangle line and some of them not. That makes matching it up later on a lot easier because you have to tape these pieces together, and I like to have one edge that has a lot of like space and then one edge that is right up against it, so I can line them up a lot better when taping all the pieces together, and it makes it so that you don't have any like weird gaps, and it makes the actual pattern piece stronger in the end. And it's just pretty much a big puzzle that you follow along. Here you can see the one edge that I cut right to the line and the other that I left a gap on, and it lines up really nicely. I like to tape all the edges too because it makes it so that it doesn't like fall apart. This is paper, so I'm trying to like eliminate paper cuts when possible. This part of the process is actually like really fun. I do really enjoy the putting together of the pattern. It does take a little bit of time, but once these pieces are together, they're a lot sturdier than a standard paper pattern, and I find they store really well as well. I do add extra pieces to the back. This is unnecessary, but I just like the extra strength because I like to roll my patterns when I'm done with them. So this just creates a really solid piece, and it's not going to get caught on any fabric or anything along the way. After I have all my pieces made, I can start cutting them out. I can start cutting out the pieces of my fabric. I'm just testing out sizes here to see where I can fold it and make the most use of the fabric that I have. I like to not waste as much as possible, and then going in with my rotary cutter and getting in all those nice crisp clean edges. Some patterns come with the seam allowance already adjusted for, so just make sure you read the pattern before you start cutting to make sure you don't need to add any extra seam allowance.
Way too quiet in the house. I'm just wasted on the couch, 'cause I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stayed here right with me. I can't shake that feeling that we said goodbye.
All right, all of my prep work is done. That means it's time to break out my sewing machine. Mwah, I love her. The first thing I'm going to do is do a super simple rolled hem on all of the outside edges. Aren't going to be sewn into anything, so this is my chance to seal them and make them pretty. I am going to be using a rolled hem foot for this, but you could do this with an iron, but that rolled hem foot's just going to make it super simple and easy breezy for me to breeze through all of these little trim pieces, and we can move on to assembly. Can I tell you a secret? I couldn't figure out the rolled hem foot. I'll be so for real with you. I couldn't figure out the rolled hem foot. I feel like I'm supposed to iron it. I could Google it. I didn't. I just did like the fastest, easiest hand rolled hem foot. It's gonna be flouncy anyway, so it's not perfect, but I'm finishing these up this way. I was getting really frustrated with the rolled hem foot. So I'll learn how to do that and I'll get back to you on that. In theory, oh hi! Did you hear that mommy was frustrated? Oh, come here. Did you hear mommy was upset and you came to help? Oh, careful, careful. Please don't show your butt to the camera. No, she just wanted to be acknowledged. So please tell her how beautiful she is in the comments, or she will scream at all hours of the night. I'm gonna finish these off the fast and easy way, and I'll figure out the rolled hem foot another day.
like. Prep phases are done. My edges are all clean and my facing is on. The facing was actually easier than I thought it was gonna be, so that was a win. That went way easier, so good, yay. That's exciting. That makes up for the fact that I couldn't figure out the rolled hem foot. I'm gonna assemble the back side of the dress first. So I'm gonna do the back and the skirt back together, and I'm doing this plain and simple right sides together, and then I'm gonna do a straight stitch. Yeah, this looks right. Yeah, this seems so right. I'm gonna run this through my sewing machine, and I'm just doing a simple straight stitch because we're gonna add elastic in on top, and that elastic I'm gonna zigzag on. So there's gonna be like a finishing zigzag edge top on all of it, so that I don't have to like go back in and finish these edges 3 times or twice. They'll just be all closed up in the elastic. And I'm experimenting with not using pins. I just want to see, especially on a straight stitch like this, I just want to see if I can do. I'm feeling confident and bold today. You know, I had an extra cup of tea, my makeup worked, my hair looked great today, I'm feeling cute, so I'm feeling extra confident. I feel like I can totally, I feel like this is just a straight stitch. It's nothing crazy. I have to fight the urge every time I sew not to go, that's what I want to do every time. That's what I want to do. I have to fight the urge. It's very difficult. Parasites want me to vroom the sewing machine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, good Lord, love a duck. I've been watching a lot of True Blood. That's where the Southern accent comes from. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that, but I occasionally like fall into an accent that isn't mine. I'm Canadian. I don't have an accent, but I fall into a Southern one if I've been watching too much True Blood. Like whenever I rewatch True Blood, I fall into a Southern accent. Or when I watch Bridgerton, I start speaking in an English accent. Like if I'm whatever TV show I'm watching, I tend to speak in that accent, and I don't know why. I don't know, just what happens in my brain, and I'll fall into it. The Southern one is the worst offender. There's so many flounces. I labeled them all because I was so smart and I thought ahead. I like wrote in pen what they all are, and that's a great trick. And I did it in like the seam allowance so that it wouldn't show through. You can kind of see here my bad handwriting. I wrote what each piece was because there was a lot of pieces that looked the same. Like all the flounces are kind of similar, so I wanted to be able to tell them apart. Oh, what is happening here? Oh God, what is happening? No. Okay, is everything okay? I hope everything's okay. It doesn't look okay. No, why? Oh no, why? Why? Ugh. Why? It just like snapped. I don't know. Oh, fuck. That is so annoying. Okay. Does this have a, yeah. It was getting stuck on the little thing. That is so annoying when I forget to do that. Ugh, Madison. Surprised it didn't happen sooner. Why are you still being weird? There's still stuff on the bobbin. Okay, why are you being so weird? Better, stunning, woo, girly. Okay, I now have the back of the dress, the skirt, and the back flounce are now all attached. I'm gonna go in and add the elastic on the waistband of the back. I'm gonna bring you guys in nice and close so you can see this. I've never done this technique before, but essentially what I'm doing is lining that seam up and stretching the elastic while I put a zigzag stitch in along that line, and then it will, and then it will be like an elastic inside waistband is the goal, I hope. I've never done it before, so we're gonna try. Seems right. I think it's working. Okay, I'm gonna do this and then we're gonna look at it together. I need to focus. Ooh, this is looking good. So that is front skirt A with flounce A. Now I'm going to make the flounce for the second side, which is like 2 flounces stacked. So this is flounce B and C, and they're not gonna go right sides together. They're gonna go, like, they're gonna be stacked on top of each other, so right sides up on both. And I'm gonna put a straight stitch sewing these together, and then we'll attach this as one unit to front skirt B. Look at me, I feel like I got this. I'm feeling very confident. That could just be the Leo talking. It really could be, but
I'm feeling extra confident, so let's see how that goes. That either means it's going to turn out great or it's going to be a total disaster.
Through the arbor, in the garden room, wings are beating, baby, me and you alone. Pencil drawing phases of the moon, all through the stages, both becoming seen into. Slowly we take on phosphorescence, phosphorescence, vivid in the bond, phosphorescence.
Okay, I have the shoulders attached to the back and the front and the back. I'm going to start working on installing sleeves. That's the next step. These should be pretty easy. I've done sleeves before, so I think this should go okay. That is my famous last words though, so we'll see. I'm not doing anything crazy or fancy. I'm not changing anything about the sleeves, so I think it should be okay. This always happens to me. If you know why, like I always have some, like I'm cutting it exactly the way the pattern tells me to cut it. So why does it? I don't know, friends. I do use pins for sleeves because anything with a curve, I feel like you really do have to pin pretty severely. All right, my pin is sleeved. My sleeve is pinned. I'm gonna whip that on and the other one, and I'll meet you guys back here for, I think, attaching the skirt and doing the last elastic, I think. We'll see. Okay, things seem to still be going really well, and I'm like waiting for the shoe to drop. It's time to attach the skirt, the front skirt to, oh, how is this all? Yeah, so the front's all done. It's time to attach the front skirt to this whole section here. So then we can attach the skirt and then do the elastic. And then we're like done after we sew up the sides. It's like there's 3 more things to do. There's only 3 more steps. Oh, I hope this fits. If it doesn't fit, I might cry. But if this does fit on the first try, I also think I might cry. Oh, I gotta do right sides together. That's right, right sides together. Right sides together. Right sides together. Okay, all right. So here's my front skirt. She's looking cute. She's looking wrapped, amazing, stunning. Brown cow, stunning, love her. Okay, yeah. Okay, I did need to cut that piece. I don't know what happened, but it was wrong. So I cut it. And it is now the same size as this. These like now match up after I cut it. So don't ask me what happened because I have no idea. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna throw a couple of pins in it. It is just a straight stitch, but there's lots of like layers and flounces and things. So I wanna make sure everything stays nice and neat and doesn't get mucked up. From this point on, it's like normal stuff that we've done a million times together, so I'm very excited. I am off camera going to do all my zigzag stitches just on all the open edges that have been sewn together are gonna get just a quick zigzag stitch with some thread and thread obviously, just to like make sure everything is like super secure and nothing's gonna come unraveling. Just because it is a single stitch, those seams aren't reinforced at all. So I am gonna zigzag stitch them all and trim them up, but y'all don't need to see that because that's just plain boring, honestly. Every time I get to like a little junction, I'm like triple checking because I've made the mistake before of just like going and thinking it was all right and it wasn't. And if it gets mucked up here, you can't really fix anything. Yeah, this is the confusing part when it's all just this big kumbumble. Oh, okay. There we go. We've got a front and a back. Got a front and a back. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna put the elastic in this front seam and sew it together up on the sides through the sleeve, just like we've done before. Nothing crazy. Just this whole edge needs to be, the sides need to be sewn together. I'm gonna put the elastic in just like I did the back, and then we can put her on and see how she looks. I will see you guys in the final reveal.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now. Just
Okay friends, it's Editing Madison here. I'm realizing I didn't film an outro to this video. I thought I did. I didn't. I'm filming this now before this video goes up so you guys have an outro. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. You know I'm always so grateful. I love making these videos for you guys. Please comment down below and give this video a like. It really does help out. And if you liked me, please consider subscribing. I make new videos every Sunday, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I will see you next Sunday. Bye. I haven't gotten you a cat in a while. Moo, what do you have to say to the people? What do you have to say? Huh? What do you have to say? She says, bye. You're just a sleepy girl. Are you just so sleepy? A big sleepy girl. Mom? Okay. You want to do the intro with Mom? Say, hey, it's Matt, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? She's been crying all day and I don't know why. Okay, go on. It is my birthday week. And that means I need a birthday dress. We did this last year where we made this really beautiful green dress. I also wore it to a wedding that I was attending. Miss Moo. She's been playing in the pattern. Yeah. We also did this for a wedding I attended my birthday weekend last year, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to make this a tradition here on my channel, to make my birthday dress every year. Oh, I found this pattern on Etsy that we're going to be using today, and also it is 4:36 on Thursday evening. My birthday isn't until Sunday, but I have to have this done by essentially this time tomorrow, maybe 5:30 tomorrow. I could stretch it to, so I have just about 24 hours to sew this dress. And I am not a seamstress, nor am I known to be a fast sewer. And I have never attempted this pattern before. She's still playing. So I'm really setting myself up for success. I also don't have fabric. I have the pattern, okay? I built the pattern today. I thought I got clips of it, but turns out I didn't. Me and Moo built this pattern. Here's a picture of her. We did it together. She loves pattern making, but I don't have fabric. So we're gonna go to the thrift store and see if we can find something at the thrift store. And if all else fails, Jordan and I can head to the fabric store. They're open till 8. Moo! This girl. And yeah, so let's see what we can find at the thrift store. My goodness, it's a demon. Are you playing hide and seek? Hello! Please don't. Crazy, crazy.
Okay, bye, baby. You guard that. Mommy will be right back. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Every day you make mistakes, but heroes know that's what it takes to find themselves, to save a friend, discover true love in the end. When you're down
like this one. It's expensive though, of course. Okay, I have you precariously set up. I have this expensive one that I really love, but I don't know, it's like 25 bucks. That's a lot of fabric. And then I have this yellow one that I think is also really pretty.
Okay, I made it home and I went with the yellow. The black and white one was cute. I'm an August baby, I'm a Leo. I wanted a little yellow action. I don't wear a lot of yellow, so I thought this would be a fun way to work it into my wardrobe. And I'm just gonna set up and cut. I think that's all I'm gonna be able to get done tonight is getting all my pieces cut up, and then we can start sewing in the morning. I just wanna get everything organized and ready tonight so that I can go to bed and wake up and start sewing first thing.
I still remember the day that you came. You were so little. For me, it's just a day. Now you're all grown up, tall as a tree, strong as a wolf pup, faster than me.
Hello and good morning, friends. I have a lot of work to do today, and I didn't read through the pattern before I bought it. I just said, ooh, that dress looks pretty, bye. This is very intermediate. There are techniques in this pattern that I have never heard of ever. Right, Ketchup? There's like, I don't know how like complicated they are, but there are things like I have never attempted and never even like heard of in my whole like life. And I'm not a seamstress by any means, and I'm very much still an amateur. Like I've been doing this for like a year, but I'm still very much a beginner. I am in no way like a master at this craft. So I'm gonna be starting with the pin tucks. Oh yes, Ketchup. I'm gonna start with the pin tucks on the sleeves this morning, and that's what's gonna give it that like tiered ruffle effect. I originally thought it was just like separate pieces sewn, but it is just like one big piece that is ironed in a specific way and then sewn in order to like create the illusion of tiers when it is just one piece. By my best estimation, that is essentially what's happening, and it starts with the iron. Also, I'm wearing sweatpants today. It's just that kind of day. It's very much a sweatpant day. I did not pre-iron any of these pieces, which I should have, but I didn't, because honestly, I'm just lazy. So I'm doing it now. I find that ironing the bed sheets are really difficult when you have limited space, so I cut them and then deal with any imperfections that I come across along the way. I will say, the more prep you do, like the cleaner the garment comes out in the end, but there are tons of ways to like clean up a garment as you go to get that same result and not have to like do something when you don't have the space, you know? So for the pin tucks, I have these marks on my sleeve. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're on each side. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put it right side on my ironing board and fold this towards me. Fold the back, or the top, I guess you could say, towards me, and find that first notch. So my first one is this one right here. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna do a little fold there, and then find that same first notch on the other side and fold it the same way towards me. And then I do this. Watch this. And I just make sure it's right, and that the fold is on the little mark, and then I pull it taut and kind of give it a shake, and it will even itself out. And I start in the middle with my iron, and I kind of mark the middle so that it sets, so that I don't lose that spot, and then work side to side. Because I've got a small ironing board here, I can't do it all at once. So starting in the middle makes it so that it's even, it's already marked, the seam isn't gonna move, and I can move around my piece on my ironing board and not worry about losing that mark. This is the tricky part. This part took me a second, so if it takes you a second, don't worry about it. I'm still not 100% sure about it, but we're doing our best here. We're doing what we can. So the next step is to kind of like roll it over itself. Does that make sense? You're gonna kind of open it up like this and find, it's probably easier if I show you on this end, find that next mark and pull this fabric down to meet it. So that you're kind of making that same seam we just did, but now you're doubling back and making a Z right there. This part is the finicky part, I would say. And it's made this like flap. I'm going to iron down the flap. Same principle, starting in the middle, it makes it even on my small ironing board. All right, that is my first pin tuck done on this. Oh no, where did I go wrong? Is it supposed to, is my other one like that? Oh no, I did it wrong. I did it wrong! Oh no. Okay, hold on, let me fix this. Okay, I had the pin tuck facing up and the pin tuck has to face down. So this like little flap that it makes has to go down. I think this is an easy fix. I'm just gonna iron it this way. That's the thing about like teaching yourself techniques and like learning. I could watch a tutorial, and to be honest with you, I've watched maybe an hour and a half worth of the same video over and over, and it just never made sense. Like I'm still struggling because I don't learn that way. I learn by doing. I'm a tactile learner. I have always been that way. Like I need to learn for myself by doing and figure out how it works in my head. But it looks really pretty. Oh, careful, Miss Girl. No, thank you. But here we go, my pin tucks. They are in. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see them, but they'll add lots of volume onto the sleeve. Okay, let's work on sewing these in. I'm not 100% sure if this is right. I checked the instructions again. I don't ever want to blame the instructions for like me not understanding, because I'm a very much a beginner, and I should have read that this is a more advanced pattern. But even with the like accompanying tutorial, it's not super clear what to do here. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with what makes sense. Don't try this at home. I fear this is correct. Couldn't find my sewing scissors, so the kitchen scissors it is. I think this is right. I'm gonna do them all like this so that they're at least all the same, whether it's right or not. That way, it's cohesively incorrect. I feel like these are pretty correct, honestly. They're not 100% right, but I think they're as good as I'm gonna get them. Okay, let's move on because I don't wanna like worry about this anymore. Okay, the next step is to join the sides to make the tube. And this is why we left this part unsewn here. Like you can see, I didn't go all the way to the end because I'm sewing a straight stitch the whole way, not including, like I'm not sewing down the pleats, if that makes sense. I'll bring you guys in so you can see on the machine how I'm gonna manipulate this in my machine. So putting my right sides together like you would any sleeve, I'm gonna start working down and pull these folds taut and do my best to make one single straight stitch all the way down. Okay, the last thing I have to do on this part is just do a basting stitch on the tube. The sleeve is looking like a sleeve, and that's amazing. I'm getting really stressed out by it. But once this like sleeve part is done, I'm okay. The last part of this sleeve part is to put a cuff on it. But like, I cut a cuff. You guys know me, I love a flouncy sleeve. You know what? I think I'm not gonna do the cuff. I think I'm just gonna leave it as a bat sleeve. Okay, change of plans. Cut for time is the cuff. And I'm just gonna do a simple rolled hem edge on the bottom of this sleeve and have it be like a bell flouncy bat sleeve instead. I'm gonna quickly do that, and then we can work on putting the front and the back together. I still have to do the other sleeve. Okay, I gotta dial in. It is 2:19. I have to dial in. The sleeve is the last like complicated part. We still have to handle the top. So I'm gonna simplify the bottom. I think that's just like a necessity. I just have to make this simpler. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I can do is make this as simple as possible and just make it a rolled hem. All right, the hem is done. I'm gonna move on to the top part here. It's a bunch of pleats, and I'm gonna be so for real with you. I really have no idea. I honestly couldn't tell you what I did. I just kind of did it, so sorry. I'm like stressing about the time crunch here. There's a couple of tricky things left, but nothing as tricky as the sleeve. The next couple of steps though are very simple. I'm taking both back pieces and sewing them together on their center seam, and I'm doing the same thing on the front seam and sewing the backs, like center seams together. And once I have those two center seams sewn, I can move on to making a little bit of bias tape from my scrap fabric to use for that like center cut out ring that's there. And I'm gonna use that bias tape to clean up that edge and make that edge finished. And then we can move on to the last like tricky part of the dress before everything comes together. I am also very new to making my own bias tape or using bias tape in general. So this was a little nerve-wracking, but essentially I just cut my 45-degree piece, and it's like super stretchy, so as stretchy as it's gonna get. And I just did my 3 like irons. It's a very similar technique to the straps we did for my tote bags we made a few videos back. So if you want like an in detail of this step, check out that video. It's a very similar process, except we used interfacing there. We're not using interfacing here. All right, I've got it all pinned down. I'm gonna run it through my machine right quick. Okay, let's do that on the other side. It is 4:08, friends. We are in the home stretch. That was like the last, not weird, but like thing I had never done before. All that is left is to attach the front and the back together. I'm doing a straight stitch with my favorite method of finishing a seam, which I haven't talked about yet in this video, but we've talked about it many times before if you've seen another video of mine. I like to do a straight stitch and then zigzag stitch on the like inside of that seam instead of like going around and finishing all my edges before I do a project. I do this mostly with my bedsheet projects purely because it uses less thread, it wastes less like time and energy, and normally these bedsheet projects are practice for me, and I'm not always going to like wear them, or they're not going to anybody else, they're just for me, and I don't mind it being finished that way, and it just makes the most sense for my brain to do it. So that's what I'm doing with this dress too. And once the two sides are attached, I'm gonna go ahead and hem it now before we attach the sleeves, because the sleeves are a little cumbersome, so I'm gonna hem it first. I'm doing the same sort of hem that we did on the sleeve, just a double rolled hem. Super simple, super easy. And then I'm going to attach the sleeve. Nothing crazy here. Again, all I'm doing is attaching the sleeve exactly how you would want to attach a sleeve, and going back in with the last of the bias tape made from this fabric to finish out the neckline. Now that we have all these elements together, it's time for me to put it on and see what it looks like. So the big question of this video was, can I make a dress in like 8 hours? Like really like 8 hours? Like, can I construct it? Really, it's like 24 hours. Like, I could have started this yesterday, but I didn't. I really started sewing this morning. I started at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's been, I mean, it's 6 o'clock now, but I've been panicking and crying for about 45 minutes. So I'll call it 8. Can I sit down and make a dress in 8 hours? Yes, I can. Can I make a cute dress that's worthy of me wearing on my birthday in 8 hours? No, I can't. I made a hospital gown. I made an actual literal hospital gown. And I already tried to save it by slutting it up. Like, I cut 8 inches off the bottom. I already tried. Everything about this is so wrong. And I don't think I can save it. Like, one, I don't think I have it in me to save it, and two, I like just don't think I can, even if given unlimited time and materials, because I think after assessment, the real problem is the bed sheet. And that sounds sacrilegious to me. That sounds like I'm going against everything I've ever known and loved, but it's the bed sheet. When I picked this one, I had two options. I had a thicker, nicer one, and then I had this yellow, and I was like, oh, I'm a Leo, let's go with the yellow. And it was like a duvet cover, and so I was feeling it doubled. And this is just, the fabric is so thin and papery. It reads hospital gown, I think, no matter what I do. The only thing I could think, going like full slut with it, which I don't mind. Like, I'll wear it. But I think that's the only thing I might save it. George? I'm gonna get an assist from George to show you, like, what I mean by that. Like, because this hospital gown is not giving. Can you do the thing that we were seeing?
Ripple book?
Yeah. See, if I'd have to work on the sleeves where they are, but if I made it tight, give me a little more. If I made it tight and did like big sleeves, I think it might work. Oh, I don't think I've shown them the back yet. I think it's a combo of me. I think I made the wrong size, which I don't know how I measured, but whatever. And it's just the fabric. Do you have any thoughts?
It's really big. I think it's a partially like it's a little too big, and then the fabric is like 10 to 25% the problem. I think
the fabric is 90% the issue.
Okay, we'll bump it up to 50-50, right?
50-50. It's supposed to be big. I think if it was big and the fabric was nice, I think it would work.
Did you show them the bat wings?
My little
They got them to stick out.
my little wings. I still don't know what they're for, to be like totally honest. So this is not what I will be wearing on my birthday, just FYI. I have decided that I will not be going out to dinner on my birthday. I will be underwater. I shall be putting my feet in the ocean, and I will be eating junk food and sitting on a beach instead, because that's exactly what I need after doing this. I bit off way more than I can chew, and that's fine. I just have to suffer the consequences of that. Okay, will you be so kind as to grab me a child? Will you deliver me a child for the people? Oh, Moo's the sacrifice.
Woo.
Oh, Moo is the sacrifice. She's always the sacrifice, isn't she? Isn't she always the sacrifice? What do you think about Mommy's failed dress? Nothing? Oh!
Two for the price of one.
2 for the price of 1. Swap out. We had the oven ready swap. Okay, guys. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my weekend underwater. Because that's what I need after this experience. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you liked me, please consider subscribing. I make DIY content of all kind, from dyeing my own hair to attempting to sew my own clothes to flipping furniture. I do a little bit of everything, and there are some big changes happening to this channel very soon, so be ready for that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, so thank you so much. I will see you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
To show you what is in here. I spent some time at the thrift store, and I just was like looking for inspiration. I've not been uninspired, but like I've just been wanting to try something new. So enter into the chat the cheapest items at my thrift store by a long shot. These placemats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets for $12. I think these would make really cute and unique tote bags. Look how cute that would be as a little bag. As a little bag like this. Isn't that just gonna be the sweetest little thing? And I just wanna like figure this out. I have a general idea of what we're gonna do and a direction we're gonna head in. This is just gonna be like a F around and find out situation, I feel like. I don't know how they're gonna turn out, but I have a feeling they're gonna turn out good. I'm not sure how these tote bags will come together, if I'm being totally honest, but I do know I'll need a few things. I've pulled some thrifted satin from my stash to make the straps, and some fusible interfacing to make those straps really sturdy. I've also got some thread, jean needles, my quilting ruler, and like always, a pen. This is the game plan. I am going to sew down this edge all the way over and back up the side like 1/4 of an inch. This pretty small, like essentially the size of a seam allowance, to pin down these tassels, going really carefully to make sure that the tassels stay outside of that stitch line. I'm gonna mark a 2-inch gap because that's gonna be my flap, and I don't want my flap parts to be sewn down yet. Oh, hi Moo, hi baby girl. So 1 and 2 is here. So I know to stop sewing at those points so that when I fold this over, the flaps are gonna sit the right way. Is this making sense? Because it's making sense to me. Oh, it's working. Okay, that's a win. Our first win.
You are like gold dust over me, just like an angel. Don't need an answer, just some kind of reply.
These edges are gonna become my new seams for when I'm sewing the 2 pieces together. So these edges that like I've got them made like inside out edges so that when I sew the 2 pieces together, the fringe will be on the outside and they will be joined here, and it will be like double the strength. Hopefully that makes sense, and then leaving this 2-inch gap on the top. Okay, this is making more sense to me. It's coming together. Oh my goodness, this is coming together. I'm actually impressed. I don't always, my ideas don't always work out. So when they do, when my crazy idea works out, I get a little excited. Let's do this exact same thing to the second one and we can start attaching.
Going into a project semi-blind doesn't sound ideal to me. Not having clear goals or expectation was something that would cause real deep-rooted anxiety in me. I've always lived by not having a plan as planning to fail, and priding myself on being able to predict and plan for anything and anything that could go wrong along the way. This sense of control crept into every aspect of my life, until I started doing these projects and was confronted with this crazy concept of letting go and allowing myself to just be creative and let it flow through me.
It's all sewn, and I kind of am at like square one now. Like I've gotten it to where I like really have like fronts and backs. I'm going to sew together along that like edge we made on the bottom and then on the sides, making sure everything lines up and that all the tassels are tucked away and neatly inside like the little fold out we're gonna make. So the inside seams will all match and everything will be sturdy. I'm also at this point going to fold down the flaps. This is where the denim needle is really going to shine because these pieces are gonna be put together now. Oh my goodness, this is really gonna test. Oh, I'm panicking a little bit, guys. There's like mild panic happening. Oh, I don't know what's happening, but I think it's working. Oh, ooh, that didn't sound good. Oh God, that doesn't sound good. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not working. It's not working. Oh, yeah. No, that's why it doesn't sound right. Look at this. Oh no. This is okay. Let's just try again. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. I think it's working. I'm gonna keep going because I think it's working.
Even on this small scale, this act of letting go and allowing myself to be creative has allowed me to see the beauty in my mistakes, to see the beauty in my failure, allowed me to really enjoy my successes.
Okay, moment of truth here. All these layers are sewn together. Yeah. Oh, it's cute. Oh, it's cute. It worked. You guys, it worked. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, that rush of dopamine. Look. It is looking so cute. This is exactly what I hoped it would look like.
Okay, big deep breath out. That makes me so happy. Okay, this is in a really good place. I think we can start working on a strap situation. When I first started sewing, I could hardly cut a straight line. I would agonize over every tiny detail until I felt so overwhelmed that I couldn't even make a cut, being paralyzed by this deep anxiety that I just couldn't shake. My need for perfection stopped me dead in my tracks, until I took a step back and realized this paralyzed feeling happened to me more often than not. And not just here, and not just with sewing. I would stop myself from going forward if I couldn't predict every possibility. Learning this about myself was only the first step. I had to challenge this in me, force myself to face this, force myself to face what I was so afraid of. Failing, falling short, disappointing you, disappointing myself. The first step here is to cut out my pieces of this fusible interfacing. I'm not gonna be super exact here. I know that my straps are about 1.5 of my quilting ruler. So I'm gonna make this roughly 1 of my quilting ruler so that it's a little bit smaller. Just because of the way this is, I'm gonna need to cut an extra piece here. There's like a soft side and a textured side. I don't know if you're gonna be able to like tell on camera what side is what, but you can really feel the difference when you kind of run your fingers over it. So it's textured side on the wrong side of the fabric. I'm gonna break out my iron again. I'm gonna set my iron to medium for now and see how that goes. And I have a piece of scrap fabric here that's gonna help us. So with the wrong side, like right side's down, the wrong side facing up, I'm gonna take my first strip and put the textured side facing the wrong side here, and then use my scrap fabric as a barrier and iron it down. No, it's not working. Hold on. Can I just do this maybe? 7, 9, 10 maybe? Maybe it needs to be hotter. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not working. I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna turn my iron up a bit. I don't think it's getting hot enough. Oh, I don't know if it's supposed to get wet. Oh God, oh God. Okay. Oh, I hope that's okay. Ooh, it's really hot. Okay. Oh, that's working. Okay. It just needed to be hotter and it needed some steam. That feels fine. Now you can see like it's sticking. It's fusing. Yes, it's working. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Oh, even, it's just the heat too. I don't think it needs that much water, but the heat is definitely working. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. I fused it. Oh, that's so cool. Now that it's fused, my next step is to kind of treat this like bias tape. So I'm going to fold this whole thing in half, roughly, and iron a crease into the halfway point so that I have like a marker. Oh, it feels really sturdy. That interfacing makes this satin like so much easier to work with. Normally I really struggle to iron satin, but this is really making it like super sturdy. The next is to open it up like a book and fold the quarters. So I'm taking the raw edge and folding it towards the center. Now iron this towards that center seam. Oh, this interfacing is making this so easy. Okay. Oh my God, I love this stuff. Interfacing has no fans. I am dead. Now I have that like center crease and then the one side folded towards the center. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. How are you? Okay, you're gonna hang out? My strap is done. It's looking really beautiful. I am going to very quick everything we did to make this strap to this one, starting with ironing on the interface, making sure my textured side is going to the wrong side of the fabric, folding that fabric in half lengthwise, hot dog wise, to make a crease, and then folding the outside edges to that to make quarters, and then folding it again to end up with a second strap that we can now work on attaching to the bag. I am going to attach this in like the simplest way with a box stitch, and I'm going to hide that box stitch under the flap under the flap we made, just so you don't see it on the outside, but so that it's super duper secure. I think I could have done this step first, and then I would have like been able to not have to fandangle it as much, but it is what it is. I did it in this order, so that's the order it's being done in.
I totally forgot to sew these edges together. I quickly ran this through after. It's okay, but I'm gonna do it right. I'm just gonna put a stitch to close this so it all stays nice and nice. My original plan was to do 2, but I like the look of 1, and I'm just gonna do 1 on this one. So I'll run this through my sewing machine real fast. You know, sometimes I get excited and I get ahead of myself, so that's okay. It's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. It's pretty inconsequential. It's okay.
Learning to embrace the mistakes has become an ethos of sorts for this channel. Showcasing these moments, showing the messy parts, being imperfect has been a compass for me, with true north set to sharing my success and the failure it took to get there.
We have this first one finished, and she is so cute, and I'm so happy with how this one turned out. This is like the perfect size just to take like to the coffee shop with my Kindle and like a pair of headphones and just like a little snack or something. But I do want something a little bigger, and I have all of those options. So I am gonna use these placemats. They're much larger, like in comparison to the pink one, wider and deeper. Like there's a pretty large size difference here. I would love something that I could use at the farmer's market, or if we're gonna run to a shop or something that I can put more things in, or if I want to pack for like an afternoon at the beach. So I'm gonna use these placemats. There's no tassels on this one, but it does have this edge that is like pre-seamed, and I'm gonna pretty much follow the exact same method I did for the other bag, but just using these seams. I don't have to do like those first steps to make sure the tassels are on the outside or anything like that. I love finding new ways to use secondhand materials in unexpected ways, or even reimagining expected ways for things to turn out. There is something so satisfying to me about taking something and turning it into something else, or giving it new life, giving it a second chance. That's my favorite part of these projects, and this project in particular is I have no use for these placemats in the current condition that they are, but with a little imagination and a little bit of love, they can become something I can use every day. All right, let's flip it. I'm really excited for this one. This has been really relaxing, and I'm feeling all of like my anxiety, my worries and things into projects. It really helps just to do some. Wow. Okay. Oh, this one is so cute. Okay, yeah, this is like the perfect beach day farmer's market bag.
Feet up on the dash and the calling open road. Road trip classics on the radio.
Oh, I'm so pleased. These are so sweet, and what a great way to reuse materials and to reimagine something. A great like little afternoon project. I also think something like this would make like a great gift if you were making a birthday gift or a housewarming gift with like maybe a bottle of wine and a baguette and a bag of salt or something. Oh, that would be so sweet. I feel so good. I love making pretty things. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. You know I love to have you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this week, guys. You know I am so grateful for every single one of you. Everyone who votes in a poll, everyone who interacts with me over on Instagram or on TikTok. I really hope that you guys know how much I appreciate you and how grateful I am for every single one of you. And it was just so nice to hang out with you guys and do a project that really just like helped me focus my energy. And I hope that you guys are all doing okay. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you liked me, please consider subscribing. I love having you here. I'm here every Sunday, so I'll see you next week. Bye. In omitting of cat time, let me enter this clip of me talking to Trixie in the middle of this project. She was being too sweet, so I'll put the little blooper in here for you. She's not the smartest cookie, so she starts to play and then I think she forgets. Do you forget? She didn't get any mommy's milk. You're definitely a formula baby, but your sister was a formula baby too, and she's the smartest thing I've ever met in my life, so I think you were just
You were so beautiful, you couldn't be smart. The world would have just shattered if you were this beautiful and that smart.
Hey, hi, it's Mads, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you guys? We are back with my sewing machine because, friends, I hit the jackpot in the remnant section of my local thrift store. I have been on the hunt for some scrap fabric or secondhand fabric to make these bento bags, I've heard them be called. They're just these, I'm pretty sure they're Japanese inspired to-go bags or reusable bags. They remind me of like the Merit bag that you get with all the cosmetics. It's that same sort of style, but I want to make some to carry around and store my bread I've been baking. And I also think these would make great holiday gifts. If you're new to sewing, it is so super simple and basic to make, and you can make it out of remnant fabric or scrap fabric, anything you have laying around. This is so simple. If I can do this, you can do this, I promise. So I got these remnants for, like, this chunk was only $1 of this really pretty 100% cotton striped fabric, and I was so pleased because I think this is going to be the perfect amount to make a smaller version of one of these bento bags. And I just love the green stripe. You guys know me, I'm a green girl, but especially around the holidays, I like the green. Ooh, and it's got a really nice right and wrong side, and it's already a long strip. So all I need to do to get this piece of fabric to be right is measure the height of the fabric. So this width here, the skinny side, and that is about just shy. It's about 7. So if this is 7.5 inches, if this short side is 7.5, that means my total length needs to be like 22.5. So I'm gonna make it 23 to allow for seam allowances. And I think that should work out just fine here. And I'm just gonna put a little score mark using my tailor's chalk here. Ta-da, stunning. And just put a little line. I like to use my mat and my ruler together. That way I know I'm getting a straight edge when I'm doing my markings. You can line up the edge of your ruler and the edges of the lines or the edges of the mat and make sure everything is nice and straight. If you struggle with straight lines like I do, these little tricks really, really help. Okay, put that tailor's chalk away. I love this stuff. This chalk is amazing, and it comes in 3 colors. It's red and white and blue. I think it's absolutely perfect. I'll find some on Amazon and I'll link some for you. I got this in my local craft store, but if you want to see, I'll find something similar for you. And then I have my nice straight line that I can cut, and I'm gonna pull out my rotary cutters. Now remember, these are killing devices. These rotary cutters are no joke. Do not joke around with them, okay? They're very sharp, they're very bad. Do not mess with them. Be so careful. And lining up my ruler, I'm just gonna cut my line. Perfect. Now all this fabric, I have enough here to make at least a whole other one and then have some scrap left, which is very exciting because I feel like I'm gonna make a ton of these. I'm just gonna fold this up and put it to the side for now. And now I have this rectangle that is 3 times as long as it is, or 3 times as wide as it is tall. You just need it to be 3 times longer on one side as a rectangle. All right, I'm gonna very quickly iron this just to get the creases out and make sure all my things are nice, and then we can go
forgot to backstitch. There we go. I remember how to do this. It's like riding a bike, right? I remember how to do this. She is all beautifully hemmed. Everything looks great. Now is kind of the only real tricky part here is visualizing that this is section A, the 1/3 here, the middle third, section B, and the back third, section C. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C. You can go A, B, C, whatever you want to do to make it make sense. I like working from left to right. So this is my A. I'm going to take the third of the fabric that is section A and fold it over section B. I am going to measure this in a second and make sure all of this lines up perfectly, and I am actually working in thirds, but you are going to sew along the top edge here so that the right sides of A and the right side of B are sandwiched together, but you're only sewing along one of the lengths or one of the top edges. And to sew these edges together, I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch, not a straight stitch, just in case anything heavier goes. Here, these smaller ones, probably just going to be like cookies and baked goods and things like that. Nothing crazy, but just in case something heavier does go in here, I want to make sure that seam is secure. Just a nice medium zigzag. Cleaning up my little bits and edges. I bought this little basket at the fabric store. They had a huge clearance going on, and using this as like my little scrap fabric bin, saving my life, honestly. Having like a little thing, even when you're crafting, just having something to throw your trash in as you go, or your scraps or things that you just need out of the way, staying organized. Oh my god, it's helped so much. Okay, anyway, I now have this top flat sewn. Can you see it's open on 3 sides? It's sewn here really well, and I now have this guy. The next step is to take this and fold it like a triangle. You can pin this out of the way if you want to, but I'm just gonna hold mine so that it looks like this. Can you see what I did there? Just taking the loose corner, holding it up to the top so that you make that little triangle shape. And then you're essentially just repeating that first step, but on the bottom edge. You're going to fold over section C, right sides facing in, so that you kind of have this letter fold with the triangle underneath. You see that? Using some good finger work, you're gonna hold all this stuff together. You can throw pins in this, hold it together, or a little clip, whatever you need, but you're gonna sew this bottom edge together. And you're done. Clean up your little edges, make sure everything's nice and tidy, and all you gotta do is flip her inside out. I'm just gonna cut off some of these loose threads, and I've got this like little square now, and when I open it up, you can see the inside here. I'm just gonna fold it inside out, and you could box out your corners. There are so many little details you could add to this to make it more like unique or special. I've seen ones where you can put like seams down to make them stand up better, but I really like the like loose vibes of all of this, and I like the simple version, especially when you're working with a patterned fabric. I love the stripe for this. I think it is so super cute. My little bento bag, she is ready for like little buns or anything to go inside of her. She just gets tied up like this, and she's a bag. Oh my goodness. This was just like the sweetest, easiest. I also think these would make great like gift wrap, if you're making homemade gifts for Christmas, or you're making anything for anybody, or you found like a little tchotchke or something. Like, this is such an easy way to use up scrap fabric or secondhand fabric, remnant fabric, and make something really sweet and really beautiful that you or someone you love can use for the next forever. Guys, these are so cute. I love her. She is so sweet. I ended up making that larger green one and a even larger one out of just like canvas. and they are so cute. I love these. These are gonna be a little great makeup bag. I've got some apples in here, a little farmer's market bag. And I also think, again, like gift wrap, I think this would be amazing to like wrap a present in. And then also they can use it time and time again. I love that. I love being able to like make multifunctional things, especially out of like scrap fabric and stuff that was just going to be trashed anyway. And look at that. Little bunny ears are so darn cute. Okay, I'm so happy I broke out my sewing machine today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And if you've made it this far into this video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Go on down there, click the little subscribe button, leave me a little comment. You know I'll respond. I will see you guys on Sunday, and I'll also see you over on the vlog channel every day for the rest of the month. I'll see you there. Bye.